Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto becomes a primordial vampire DxD part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. Naruto looked downwards from a cliffside at a battlefield stained with bodies and reeking of blood. This made the young sage frown as he felt ill will. So this is my two sans originally world. Hard to believe that my father came from such a bloody place. Even without senjutsu I can feel this planet is worse than the elemental nations. What the hell happened to this world? Naruto thought with a frown as he looks upon the wasteland used to be a small town until a battle happened to destroy the said town. At least that is what he is guessing with the large holes in the ground that showed signs of a battle. Plus the fragments of energy left behind by whoever fought here. Indeed, this world is worse than the elemental nations from what we are sensing. How do you plan to go around stopping this mindless slaughter, Naruto-kun? Matatabi asked as her siblings gazed upon the wasteland, though the eyes of their host with a frown on their faces as well. Well, nothing we can do now without the correct information other than train away from praying eyes. Tusan, an old man sage, did say that it's best to understand my Shinso vampire side and train with my new abilities. Plus the fact I have to understand this world better, Naruto thought as he walked away, spreading out his senses to tell if there is another town nearby. He knew he shouldn't feel guilty as not being able to help what remains of the smoking ruins of that town below. He still wished he could have helped, but it was long destroyed before he arrived. Yeah, still hard to believe you're not completely human, Shikaka stated as the other biju nodded in agreement. Finding out Naruto wasn't completely human was a shock to them, and the young boy. He accepted his newer side without much trouble though. The physical change though they didn't expect to happen but welcomed it. So Kit, since we have to understand what your damper strengths are, how about we find a town and read that scroll your old man gave you? Plus we need to find where we are and how this world functions, Kurama said, getting down to business. While Kurama didn't mind his siblings being with him and his host, he felt that his words have more weight to them as he'd been with Naruto the longest. Which, to be honest, is very true in some cases. Well, Tusan said I would be different from other damper and I am rightfully in a class of my own, Naruto thought as he descended the cliff slowly. While his father was the vampires of vampires, it also meant that Naruto had some abilities that other damper children did not have. This also includes immunity to holy items due to him being a half-human, plus the fact that he holds all 9 biju, whom are fragments of a primordial god named Shinju, whom was a primordial god of nature, and varying other things. To which, as Naruto understands it, primordial gods are a lot stronger than the gods of any religion and myths. At least that is what his father told him. Naruto now is dressed in better clothing than he left, which he was thankful for, but wished there was some orange at least. He wore black cargo umbu pants, black leather armored umbu combat boots that come up to his lower calf, a mush armor under his white short-sleeve button-up shirt. He also wore his sage coat that is red with black flames licking the bottom of the coat. He wore no to little armor, but he wore enough to protect himself and keep damage to a minimum. Around his neck is Tsunade's necklace he won from her all those years back when he tried to get her to be Godame Hokage. Naruto's physical appearance has changed as well. His hair has become longer and silkier, with 2 bangs framing his face as his hair ended at his lower back. Naruto didn't tie up his hair either, so he let it flow freely, though it was still its golden sun-kissed blonde color unless he taps into his vampire abilities, which will make his hair turn whitish silver, and his eyes become blood red with black slits for a pupil. His eyes became pupilless, and only deep amethyst gems can be seen, just like his Kachan eyes. His face has become angled with little to no baby fat on his face or body, though his skin has become slightly paler from its healthy suntan that it normal was. His body has become even more lean, chiseled, defined like a swimmer's or a runner's body, built for speed, endurance, agility, and strength. His fangs on both bottom and top of his jaw have slightly lengthened, showing his vampire heritage. His figure has become that of a model and someone of noble features. Naruto didn't have a lot of items either, other than some kunai, ninja wire, shuriken, smoke bombs, food pills, blood pills, and several other things he packed before he left. Anything else is sealed away in sealing tattoos on his left forearm, such as training scrolls from his father and the old man sage, which covered a lot of subjects. His father and the sage were also able to give him some other things, but he won't know what they are till he finds an inn or something. Maybe a cave would work better, as his newer senses didn't pick up anything, plus the fact he couldn't sense anything other than wildlife around them. Do you think I should build a house using Mokotan that Hashirama Gigi given me? Naruto thought. Ironically, some of Hashirama still had some cells and blood packs laying in the hospital and frozen within Konoha Hospital, which his father literally flew with wings to and grabbed, along with several other items, though those items are sealed away currently. Naruto was able to gain Mokotan thanks to Hashirama using his medical knowledge to pass on his Kekkai Genkai to Naruto in hopes he will use his power wisely, as Hashirama trusts Naruto with his Kekkai Genkai, which just added to Naruto's Kekkai Genkai list to 7 or more that he is aware of. Though how Hashirama was able to do it was anyone's guess, as he was and probably still is a better medic than Tsunade. Naruto does understand that Hashirama used his own blood and cells as a medium to introduce his Kekkei Genkai to Naruto's own genetic code somehow and fuse or add that bloodline limit to Naruto's own genetic code. Naruto also gained several other bloodline through the use of activating his vampire side during the war. It was when his father told him to bite Kage on her neck which triggered the dormant blood. This allowed Naruto to tap into some of the same abilities his father had in this new world Naruto was sent. Out of many abilities his father had as Alucard Darko, one of them was able to take the memories, powers, abilities, and skills of others after feeding off them. Naruto has this ability as well, which is a plus for him. The one thing Naruto nor his father Minato, Alucard, ever suspect was Naruto able to gain the 3 dojutsu plus the Rinne Sharingan. Downside is Naruto has to train in every Kekkei Genkai he had developed. Basically he was starting from the very beginning until he reached the max level. That is also how Naruto is in a class of his own as well. Because of his father consumed so many types of beings, Naruto has a small trait to each being in this new world which add to the fact he is nearly as unstoppable as his own father. No kit, we wouldn't know if someone would be able to pick up the sudden chakra spike in this world. Plus the fact you still don't know the effects you will be burdened with as a damper. You could be weaker than a full vampire or you could have all their strengths and none of their weakness. None of us ever encounter a vampire before in the elemental nations as none exist there. We have heard stories, but it's best to see what your father Minato left you in that scroll, Kurama said, answering his kid's question. Naruto-kun, Kurama is right, Matatabi said in a soothing voice, to which the boy only sighed. She only meant Minato or Alucard during the war, and she already saw the love and caring attitude the man shown his son. She didn't know him as Alucard, but she did meet him as Minato, so in her book, what happened in Minato past won't be judged by her or the others. Plus the fact Naruto and Minato asked all 9 if they wanted to be free, choose a new host, or stay with Naruto. They chose to stay with the boy as they liked him. Plus he was like them, but Naruto would find that out soon enough. Well, there are no towns and no people I can sense with just using my vampire abilities at this mode. I could tap into my powers and increase the range. But again that could risk to me getting found. There is also Sage mode too, but from already the basic feel of nature I am getting it's foul and dark. No more like nature herself is crying, in pain, angry, and several other things Naruto thought as he paused a moment to feel the nature chakra in this world without going into Sage mode. The biju frowned at this feeling what their host was feeling. Naruto was right, nature was crying and angry. Hate and other emotions are within this dark feeling that Mother Nature is producing. Naruto, I think you should be careful when drawing in nature's chakra. There are very dark emotions in nature's energy, so be careful that way you won't lose yourself, son, Goku said like a bigger brother wanting the younger sibling to be safe. I understand, son. Thank you though. You guys get some rest while I find a cave. We really haven't recovered from the war, Naruto replied back as he felt the 9 entities in his head nod before the connection is cut. Well, let's see. What to do, Naruto mumbled before he took off into the trees for faster travel. After a 3-hour trip, nothing but some woodlands and some mountains, Naruto mumbled, annoyed at his progress. Though impressed by the view he has on the terrain, originally it has been roughly 3 hours since he came into this world and found nothing but woods. He knew his father wasn't lying to him about this world containing people that are humans and supernatural beings. But so far he has only met forest animals that would run away when they saw him. The mountains are a new find though, as nothing but more woodlands as far as he could see. There is nothing but woodlands and streams as far as I can see. Maybe with the Byakugan I can see farther, but I don't know how to truly activate my dojutsus. Maybe it's a ratio or mental command that summons them forward. But I think atop a mountain is the best place as any to train for a number of days and grasp the basics of my powers, Naruto thought, and nodded. It wasn't a bad idea compared to earlier. For one, with a mountaintop view already given him one advantage that living in the woods did not. The stone could be moved and shifted with Doton chakra and he could make himself a temporary home in the mountainside. There is enough game and wildlife here to live off of for a good period of time. The stone provided better and much stronger shelter against the elements. Naruto nodded and double-checked as his eyes turned to crimson red with black slits for a pupil. Scanning the area around, Naruto noticed with the enhanced vampire vision he saw a town far off into the distance, but it would take about half a day travel if he wasn't in a hurry. It was pretty far off and Naruto doubted that the town welcomes any visitors. It would be better to just watch the town and see how they react to his presence. Since he is a Shinso damper he wouldn't be affected by normal vampire items, but his pale tan skin might give them an idea of what he is. Plus the fact that this town not too far off is rather big. Not big enough to be a city but a rather large town. Which either means it's a traveler's hot spot or a town built for large trade. Spinning on his heel, Naruto lowered himself to one knee and placed his whole palm on the ground as he channeled chakra into the rock, shifting it and moving the rock around, making it denser in some places and thinner in others. His chakra is forcing the rock to make a frame for a home. Since Mokuton take twice as much chakra to use, plus the fact he doesn't know if he used it correctly, he just used Doton chakra in its stead. Doton chakra will allow him to manipulate the earth and rock of this mountain. He just has to get the framing right so his makeshift home doesn't give way to the tons of rock above. After 5 minutes, Naruto finished manipulating the rock and earth as his walks into a cave-like home, though a normal-sized door frame. Naruto's new temporary home has a bedroom, fire pit, and some furniture made of rock and stone. There is a bedroom not too far off which is slightly hidden, but the fact the frame of the door is blended with the interior wall of the bedroom, tricking the eye into thinking that there is nothing more than a single living room style area. Naruto sat down and looked at the tattoo on his arm, designs and permanently etched into his skin. It was a tribal look with 9 circles that had a kanji within the circle like a label. The kanji were labeled as follows: leaf, cloud, mist, sand, rock, sage, weapons, vampire, and father, having a gut instinct plus the fact his father told him to open the one marked with father. Naruto pumped chakra into one of the seals on his left forearm and saw a crimson scroll pop out. It had his father crest of Darkle on it. Opening the scroll, Naruto started to read its contents. Dear Sochi, I know you must dislike the fact you're in another world away from friends and allies. But you have to understand certain things as to why I am doing this, and why I pushed you so hard to go to this world. In truth, you're special more than you know. I have given you basic knowledge of who I am, and what I have done in this world, and I can say, I am not very proud of myself for causing such death and destruction. But at the time I was too blind to see any other opinions, so forgive this old fool. I loved your mother, and you more than I could ever possibly say. And I want nothing more than to protect you, but I still own you the truth. One truth is you're immortal due to the biju, your Shinso blood, and Uzumaki blood, making you very hard to kill. That is one reason I sent you here. To find friends and allies that will live with you when your friends in the elemental nations have passed. Another reason is because you made me believe in something I thought was impossible. True peace, though understanding. I wish I could had more time to write this letter and tell you of how proud I am of you, my son, and how much I love you. But I should tell you more important things, like what your abilities are as a damper. You may have noticed a boost in your senses, and that isn't due to being Jinchuriki to all the biju. You have enhanced senses, strength, speed, agility, healing, and stamina. You being an Uzumaki plus a Jinchuriki to all 9 biju just makes all those abilities all that much stronger. Your strength, speed, healing factor, senses, agility, stamina, and power will continue to grow stronger and stronger with each century you age. By the time you reach 1000 years old, you will be far stronger than an elder vampire. Though thanks to my Shinso blood flowing though you, this is all doubled or tripled everything, allowing you beat a normal vampire elder with ease. Other powers like psionic manipulation, unlimited regeneration, esokinesis, infinite supply, invulnerability, and power immunity will develop after several centuries have passed. Each power develops on its own, and only becomes stronger and stronger with time. But these powers will not appear until you're at least over 1000 to 2000 years old, but by then you will start to turn into something even I could never beat or hope to. After a certain point, thanks to me, you will become a transcendent vampire. What that means is you will become a powerful vampire being who has literally ascended to true godhood thanks to a numbering of factors. One is me devouring the biblical god, and another is you being the Jinchuriki to all 9 biju, whom are fragments of a primordial goddess known as Shinju. Thanks to this you will become a transcendent vampire, and most likely have powers and abilities I could only image right now as I write this letter. Sadly, this process has started and can't be stopped thanks to you feeding on Kagaya during the war. And for what it is worth, I am sorry, my son. Thankfully this process is slow, so please do not be worried about it yet. You also have hypnosis, though eye contact, without the means of the Sharingan. This means you can control someone just by making eye contact alone. Useful ability when you need spies and don't want them to remember that they are a spy. Another one is you might have guessed is eternal life. Due to you being my son, you will have some things that other Dampiers do not. One is a stronger version of immortality. You will age normally until you reach adulthood, at which point you will cease to age and can potentially live forever. This is also backed up by the fact you have the biju and Uzumaki in you. Once you stop aging, you then become immune to all conventional illness, disease, virus, and infection, including a werewolf bite. Another ability you might develop is being able to turn people into vampires like I have with the current vampires you will meet. Though granted they will be weaker than they once were when I was in this world. Basically you're the perfect damper, you could say, as of right now. Powerful and strong as a full-blown Shinso vampire, yet you hold no limits, and no set weakness that I am aware of. You should also be aware that there are several other abilities you might develop over time, like I had with an ability called Royal Command that allowed me to control other vampires at will if they ever disobey me or try to overthrow my rule. But you might need to feed off blood like you did to Kagaya to maintain your strength, but then again with the biju inside you regenerating your human blood, so you possibly won't even need to feed off blood unless you want to, which will help in the long run. But beware, other supernatural beings will be able to tell what you are. And you being my only child, they will able to tell I was your father because of the unique power I had along with its aura. And that power has passed on to you, so please when you release your vampire state do so with caution. Because if any of my old enemies meet you, I fear they will take revenge out on you for the sins I have committed. I do not want to lose you. You're all I have left in the world. You're the only child I ever sired as well, so you're more important than you know. I know you're strong, but please just be careful for your old man. I hope you become greater than me, Sochi, as I have faith that you will surpass me in every way possible. In the scrolls I stored away is all the ninshi knowledge I have gathered from the villages and clans with permission to help you grow. The scrolls go over several shinobi aspects, including some gift from all of the shinobi clans and some friends. We want you to use our strengths and let them strengthen you. I also wrote down basic vampire techniques you can master, including certain techniques only I knew. There is a scroll for each subject, including other things. Thank all the Kage for the training plans, as we all got together and made it for you. Use this knowledge, Sochi, and grow strong. Find precious people and protect them. While doing that, I hope you make a family and bring peace to this war-torn world like you did the elemental nations. I like to believe I speak for every shinobi that you fought with and even those yet to be born. We all believe in you, Naruto. So never back down and never give up, because that is your shinobi way. Love, your Tusan. Naruto jaw dropped at the note. Shocked at the part his is immortal and surprised he may be completely surprised at the part of all the nations, including some clans, giving their techniques to him. Not only that, but thanks to his father he will become a godlike vampire farther down the road. Honestly, this might be a bit much, but Naruto knew this process will not stop even if he wished. Soon a smile broke on his face as a single tear fell. His father and friends truly believed in him, and he knew from his father's emotions alone that he believed and loved Naruto beyond words. Thanks guys for having so much faith in me. And don't worry Tusen, I plan on surpassing you, Naruto thought as he sealed away the scroll again. Being curious though, Naruto pumped chakra into the kanji, marked his weapons, and a gray scroll popped out. Unrolling the scroll, Naruto's jaw dropped in surprise. In the scroll is marked 4 items. The first being the sword of his best friend and brother all but blood, Sasuke's Chikuto sword, or that is the name that is labeled. From what Naruto remembers, it has a black scabbard and matching hilt, and is a larger size than a normal Chikuto. Despite this, it has none of the natural specialties as the one Orochimaru wields, such as the extension of the blade and the ability to cut through almost anything, both of which are natural attributes of the Kusanagi. But it's been repeatedly shown to be very durable and able to cut through various materials from what Naruto has seen or heard. Plus the fact I can add wind or lightning chakra to increase its cutting power, Naruto thought with a smile. Another weapon Naruto is surprised to see is sealed is Asuma's chakra blades. Remembering that these blades are an highly uniquely designed trench knife. These blades are worn like brass knuckles, but each one has a sharpened zigzag tooth over each knuckle, and a blade coming out of one end. Naruto could use these in his taijutsu style to add more offense while he is defending. Shikamaru must have given me these knowing I lost them. He was one of few people that had these type of knives. Naruto thought. Turning his gaze again, Naruto read the next item that is stored within the scroll is a familiar gourd Naruto seen his best friend Gaara constantly wear. This giant calabash-shaped gourd covered in designs and filled with his chakra-infused sand which he can freely manipulate. Infused with his own chakra, Naruto could possibly wield sand along with iron and gold sand like Gaara. Though it might take some training with Shikaku. Gaara must have made this for me, Naruto thought with a big smile. Gaara is his best friend, though an odd gift. Naruto could understand why Gaara made this for him. It was something personal and deep between them that made them brothers in all but blood. The last item or weapon was a very familiar and fond of the weapon Naruto used at often times. It was his Fuma Shuriken he gotten from Sasuke after their first C-rank turned a ranked mission. The Fuma Shuriken is a large, 4-bladed shuriken possessing preeminent sharpness and lethality. Its 4 blades can be collapsed for easy storage. Let's see: a sword, Fuma Shuriken, chakra blades, and a sand gourd. They sealed items that fit my styles, though I will have to learn some more kenjutsu, and how to use sand. Which shouldn't be a problem once Shikaku wakes up and helps with the sand part. I know the basics of kenjutsu, but I am not a master of kenjutsu. But time and experience can change that, Naruto thought, smiling as he closed the scroll and sealed it away again. Naruto yawned as he looked back outside the makeshift door and saw the sun setting. Guess I should sleep too. I still haven't recovered from the war myself, and if anything Hashirama-Jiji said is true, I should hold off on training for the next couple of days till I am at 100%, Naruto thought. You seem to be doing well, Naruto, a wise, kind voice said. Ga! Naruto shouted as he fell over from being surprised. Hitting his head on the ground, Naruto's eye twitched as he got up and looked at the person that entered his makeshift home unnoticed. It was Old Man Sage, otherwise known as Hagoromo. Old man, please. Don't do that. Some of us still are flesh and blood with a beating heart, Naruto said as he playfully glared at the old sage. Hagoromo chuckled at his student's expense. Naruto was always amusing to him. Even without the vampire nature, Naruto was still kind and gentle to those he cared about. And for Naruto's enemies, they were shit out of luck because he was worse than the devil in combat. Something he got from his mother Kushina, though one would say it was wise to never piss that woman off. Even Naruto's father knew better than to piss off his wife. Sorry, Naruto, I couldn't help it. It's nice to see you again, though, the sage said with a small smile. To which Naruto smiled back, the old sage with a kind smile that given off a certain warmth to it. So, old man, what are you up to? I know you're not here without reason, Naruto said, sitting back down on the stone chair as he gazed at the sage with a studying expression. Hagoromo smiled at Naruto before replying. I am here to teach you in the ways of Nishu Naruto and also improve all your current skills. While you're strong, you can become even greater. Plus the fact your father had asked me to teach you about your dojutsus, the sage said, taking a meditative posture looking at Naruto with a calm gaze as his appearance given off wisdom and power. Hagoromo chuckled as Naruto made a whooping sound from excitement. Calm down, Naruto. I am not done yet, to which the young man sat back down, but his excitement was still present. Over the next few years I will teach you all I know, including everything that some people have given me to teach you. I will be teaching you how to effectively use your eyes, your elemental releases, sword skills, senjutsu skill, and several other abilities that do not cover your vampire heritage, Hagoromo said in even tone, to which Naruto nodded. I am guessing you do not have much knowledge on what I can do as a damper, Naruto said in a dismissive tone. He knew the sage knew a few things from what he learned from his father. But the sage couldn't teach him vampire techniques or their arts. Only his father could, and seeing as his father back in the afterlife, it will take a willing Shinso vampire to teach Naruto their arts. Sadly, I cannot teach you your father's vampire techniques. Those you must learn on your own, no trial and error, Hagoromo said honestly. He wished he could spend some more time with Naruto and the biju whom are his children, but sadly he couldn't. He only had so much chakra left to actively teach Naruto. And he must conserve all he can, so Naruto will benefit from this experience of training. Don't worry about it, old man. You don't know a lot about vampires personally. So I am thankful for the training you're giving me, Naruto said with an honest smile, though it turned into him hiding into a corner, as a light sadistic glint entered the sage's eyes. Shall we begin? Hagoromo said with a calm smile betraying the sadistic glint and aura he was giving off. Naruto shakily nodded his head as he knew this training will either make him, break him, or just kill him. Which is near impossible unless someone cut off his head, then maybe he will die. Even then his Shinso blood won't allow death to claim him that easy. Time skip, several decades later. I miss Hagoromo GG, Naruto thought as he looked over the small watching the setting sun from an inn hotel he rented for the night until a witcher job was done. He was current with a traveling group of hunters that specialized in hunting beasts of the wild and destructive kind. He didn't mind the traveling, though some members of the group rubbed off him the wrong way. We miss him too, Kid Kurama replied as the rest of his siblings are asleep except for him and Son Goku. So what will we do now, Naruto? It's been 44 years since you completed your training, Son said in a questioning tone. This statement rings truth to it. Naruto has not aged a day since his 18th birthday, and that was 43 to 44 years ago. Much to Naruto's dismay, he will stay a youthful appearance of someone in their early 20s, which Naruto doesn't mind at all. He had the biju with him for this length of time, and they treated each other like family. Naruto was the peacemaker if a fight broke out between the 9. And the 9 spoiled Naruto like the youngest sibling of them. Though Nanabai and Nibi would often at times flirt with him a lot, making the poor damper blush up a storm. The first 10 years of Naruto's new life was spent training with Hagoromo, otherwise known as Reconnecting, learning the ways of Nishu. To which Naruto advanced greatly and is on par with the old sage. Though he mastered all he could from the sage, this includes ninjutsu, taijutsu, genjutsu, kenjutsu, medical ninjutsu, kinjutsu, fuinjutsu, bojutsu, and dojutsus. Naruto even was able to master and control 100% of his chakra, much like the sage, thus allowing him to hide his presence better from supernatural beings. Naruto mastered it all and used the gift given to him by his friends and allies to become a damper sage on the level of Reconnecting. His weapons consists of chakra blades, Sasuke's Kusanagi, a gourd of sand, his Fuma Shuriken, and several other tools he gained during his travels. Though he carries everything within the tribal seal tattoo on his left forearm. Though there are 4 new tribal circles, bring the items Naruto can carry is 13 or more if he makes a sealing scroll. The remaining time of his years up to this point was learning his Shinso vampire powers. One technique and interesting power he had was complete power over blood and anything that involved blood. One technique his father left him was called Shadow Whip. The Shadow Whip manifests as a gauntlet made of the Naruto's own blood bound by his chakra on his right arm. From it the whip springs when he attacks, swinging in wide arcs which hardens upon impact against his foes. It one of the most flexible techniques his father made. It also made it the most useful when fighting an opponent with a really stubborn defense that he needed to get around, or just exploring areas without the need to summon his. His father also made several other techniques, but Naruto felt he should take his time learning these techniques his father left him. The Shadow Whip was a great technique and great for all matter of combat. It could cut, rip, smash, grab, trap, and maim someone with the right movements and right techniques. While Naruto had to summon fresh blood from his veins by cutting his palm with wind chakra. He could even form varying weapons like his father had told him. It was just up to Naruto and bring the form forward. So far Naruto has a simple dagger, the whip, a complex stick-looking scythe, a spear, and several other weapons that he can make into solid form. Though they have to be stabbing, cutting, and brute force type weapons. There are several other techniques Naruto can use as well his father left him, such as demonic wings, which are crimson and black angel-like wings made of his blood and chakra, though he has to tap into this vampire form for better control and use. Another technique is red mist, which will allow Naruto can become an elusive black and red mist to reach new locations, phase through enemies without taking damage, instantly appear near enemies, and create large shock waves of smoke. Though all his father's techniques will have to wait until he master each one at a time. So far he only mastered summoning Shadow Whip and some of the basic moves for the technique. He still has a ways to go before mastering it fully. We move forward and learn. I wish to have a family and bring peace. Those are my 2 dreams. But first we need to a map of this world or the region we are in to plan out course for farther travel. Naruto thought as a smile formed on his face. While he had traveled around the lands, Naruto made a name for himself as a monster hunter, though he only went town to town solving problems as peacefully as he could. He was also an oddly none could not figure out with a few exceptions. Those was the bar owners and inn owners he would often visit after completing a job. There were also the kings and queens of each kingdom that took an interest in him. Some of that interest is selfish, lustful, or something else completely. While no one was able to use him or something in ill nature. He had developed a fan club more like fangirls with some supernatural beings. The traveling was nice and Naruto always helped those in need. His most recent job had caught the attention of several supernatural beings. While he perked their interest, it wasn't enough to cause him warranting attention which he didn't want or need. Though at oftentimes he could feel their agents watching him, though he acted like nothing was going on. So where shall we go now? Sun asked. Since the others are doing whatever they want in Naruto's mindscape, I suggest we train, Kurama replied back. Thought Son Goku only looked at his brother with a questioning look. Brother, I do not think training for Naruto Toto is needed. He has all elemental releases, plus his dojutsu, kenjutsu, fuinjutsu, taijutsu, and several other things that make him near equal to father. Is more training what he needs? Son questioned, knowing that Naruto is very strong and can rightly take on Hagoromo and his own father Minato in equal footing, though Naruto would loosen as Hagoromo has more experience with the Rinnegan Eye and several other techniques. That's not what I meant, Baka Ape, Kurama said with a bored tone. Though at the ape part, Sunai twitched in annoyance. What do you mean, Kurama? Naruto thought with raised eyebrow while focusing on some sounds outside his door. He mentally took a note that it sounded like a group of people. And with the number of heartbeats he would have to say 4 people, but their scent is alien to him. They were there for a split second before disappearing farther down the hall as they continued walking. I mean, we train in magic. Or more accurately, a way to counter all sorts of magic and spells and anything invoking magic. Plus the fact you have to find your old man's sword which uses a specific branch of magic so you can use the blade. Kurama spoke back. But could Naruto Nishu arts counter just fine? Son said. Naruto had to slightly agree with this statement. Nishu and magic are 2 very different arts. One requires hand signs while the other requires a chant, or some kind of medium to cast a spell. If one were to put Naruto's Nishu against magic, Naruto would win hands down unless he is facing a very strong magic user, then Naruto would be pressed but not beaten. But again, this is from what Naruto has seen and he wasn't too impressed by magic so far, just to be fair. But again, Naruto wasn't trained by the sage himself for nothing. He was able to hold his own just fine unless someone of Kagaya level comes around. But even then it will be most likely a hard battle to fight, which most of the fight will be taijutsu and some other arts. And speaking of Kagaya, he doesn't hate her but he frowns upon her choice of peace just thinking of her. He understood why Hagoromo tried to seal her away instead of killing her, which he could have done but didn't for several reasons. One reason why is because she was still his mother, and he loved her even after the battle was said and done. 2 was he didn't believe in killing her would solve problems but create newer ones. 3 he had some suspicions that Kagaya herself was being controlled or simply lost her way, like her mind was plagued or destroyed, and only needed healing and pieced back together. So he chose her to seal her away, much like the sage, though he added a few things to the newer seal. Because he wanted her to find herself again and find peace without Black Zetsu interfering. Hopefully it will happen and the cycle between the sage's 2 sons will end with him and Sasuke. Naruto was never interested in power nor wanted it to the point like Sasuke or anyone else. He was content with the strength he had to protect his precious people. He doesn't want strength or power to take over the world or rule a kingdom. He just wants to protect those he loves and cares for, and that for Naruto is perfectly fine with him. Perhaps, but you never know what could happen. According to what we have learned, it's easier to make a newer spell than it is to create a new jutsu. We do not have a good grasp of the limits of magic, but regardless I think we need to find a powerful being that uses magic to get a good grasp of what it could really do. There is also the fact that maybe there are some things that are magic that can only be affected by magic, like how only a fuinjutsu can only be countered by another fuinjutsu user. Kurama replied back. Naruto nodded his head in agreement. Kurama brought up a very good point. Like certain poisons, only a special antidote will work on the poison that is affecting the body and counter the effects that the poison has on the body. Some things like fuinjutsu are like that, where they need what is called a key to counter or open off a sealed place, just like how Naruto's home is set up. Only a certain few will be allowed into his home. If someone intrudes his home, they will feel like they are slowly choking, on fire, or anything else that is painful. Well, where would we find a place that studies magic? It's either the biblical church, which doesn't like my damper heritage, a rogue group which I don't they are good enough to provide a decent teacher, or a witch, and from what I hear not a lot of them are too friendly. But then again, this world is so jaded that these rumors or stories we hear are nothing but lies to trying and hide the whole picture. Naruto thought back to Sun and Kurama as they too thought about this fact. They had no idea either, and Naruto's best bet is finding a witch and learning from her, since witches were the most neutral group of people to come across. But again, that could be a lie in itself, since everyone is at each other's throats in this world. I think it's best if we find a witch or someone with a high level of mana and go on from there. But from what you read in that library in France is that all godlike beings are near impossible to talk to for the sole fact they are either arrogant or too prideful, plus the fact that this world just got done with a great war from what we learned. Though it could just be a rumor that was floating around, since we ourselves have no idea when it started or ended, Sun thought truthfully. He was only guessing, as more and more time passes the more they find about this world and how divided it has become. Though everything they learn is second-hand knowledge, so they are choosing to not fully trust what they are hearing from anyone. Okay, moving on. What do we know about my Two-Sans sword? Naruto wondered. The Void Sword. The Void Sword primary ability is to replenish the life energy of its user while dealing combat damage to opponents simultaneously. The sword had massive power over the elements of ice and wind, allowing for range attack beyond the sword with enough training. The last place the sword was seen is within the walls of Calmwood Castle, whom was owned by Alice, the Queen of Madness. Alice, or her human name Alice Wade's sister to Alma Wade, was or still is one of world's most dangerous women. Combined with her telekinetic powers and her killer instinct, she is a dangerous person to cross. Her sister Alma Wade is even more dangerous, as Alma herself had godlike abilities with her telekinetic powers ranging from many abilities. Komiya said in a feminine tone, remembering the note Minato left Naruto about his legendary sword that made many shiver in fear. Kurama and Sun waved to the Seven-Tails Beetle, whom politely nodded back. Great, last thing I need is someone of my dad's pasted figuring out I am his only child, Naruto thought back. From what his father wrote, he was greatly feared by nearly every supernatural being to a degree. The fact his father killed the biblical god should be an example of his old man's power. The fact he heard rumors that his father is in fact the devil's faction hero makes him wonder what happened if they found out who he is. How many enemies did your dad make? Sun asked, truly curious. Too damn many. He had these godlike beings fearing him and his power, as it only seemed to grow higher and higher each battle he had. Plus the fact that Minato, or in the case Alucard, fought like demon against his enemies and treated his loved ones like angels. Though Minato never had a child as Alucard, but he did have one as Minato, which is our loving little brother Naruto. Kurama said as he remembered reading most of the notes with Naruto, as he was reading many letter that was left for him by friends and allies alike. His father left him many letter within the scrolls of his techniques. Each letter is how to perform the technique, and a personal letter addressed to Naruto by his father, a friend, or someone he saved in the war. The villages promise on their honor they will maintain the peace while Naruto was in this world. And when it was time, he would return to his home and rule as the elemental Kage, which was in agreement by all the daimyo and Kage present and past. Naruto would be charged with the peace and balance of the 5 villages as their Kage. And he would maintain that post until one was fit to take it from him, which could take a very long time if his ageless state has anything to do with it. Alright, let's get my father's sword, Naruto said in a tired tone. He really hoped that this castle coming up is a lot more peaceful than the last he went though. He didn't want some succubus chasing him though the whole castle, for the sole reason he was immune to her charms. Several centuries later. Hey guys, do you think we should hit the road again? An elder damper thought to his bija as is trained in the science taught to him by the Witcher from the Wolf Academy. Though Naruto was taught all these things over 3 centuries ago, he still trains to keep his skills sharp. There Naruto trained in the basics of alchemy, magic, and swordsmanship of different styles, while in the academy Naruto learned these lesser but simpler versions of magic. This simpler magic by Witchers are called signs, whom when used correctly they are very useful in combat, and can be used outside of combat. These signs are known as Ard, Igni, Erden, Quen, and Axii. Each sign had a different effect that can be used at any time, as Naruto's mana never runs out, so he can spam the spells really easy. The sign Ard is more or less a telekinetic wave that can throw back, knock down, or stun an opponent. This sign can also be used to destroy obstacles, repel arrows, or anything that flies toward Naruto. While it seems like a weaker version of Shinra Tensei. Though Naruto can spam Ard as much as he wanted compared to the Rinnegan technique, which takes a 5-second recharge unless he uses the Rinne Sharingan dojutsu he possesses. Igni is a basic fire spell that can be used for more than combat. But when in combat, Igni becomes a gush of flames that wound opponents and burns them like normal flames. When mastered, the sign has a chance of incinerating opponents and has a larger area of effect. It can also be used to detonate flammable gases emitted by some bombs, which is also very useful. Erden is a magical trap placed on the ground, which will wound and immobilize opponents. The sign's basic level allows you to place a single Erden sign on the ground. After mastering it, one will be able to place up to 3 Erden signs at a time. These will work in unison, creating an impassable barrier. Quen is a protective magical shield that lasts for 30 seconds at the sign's basic level. It is a sign that Naruto can use on himself or someone of his choosing. Quen absorbs all damage directed at Naruto, and when mastered it can reflect 50% of the damage back toward to enemy, which saved Naruto more times than he cares to mention honestly. Axii is a charm placed on an opponent. If the charm attempt is successful, the enemy will become Naruto's ally for a short while, fighting at his side. This spell is also useful for dealing with more stubborn people who won't listen to reason. It's also useful when dealing with someone who won't talk or giving him information he needs. Learning these tricks have helped Naruto keep some of his shinobi skills hidden. Since higher and more destructive spells are not needed, Naruto only needed to learn the basics of magic and understand each branch of magic. The fact that these signs can be performed one-handed is an added bonus when Naruto is in battle. Yeah, I think it's best we move on. Where to next? Isaba said calmly yet kindly. I would say north. Since we are in Italy. I want to see if the rumors are true about the underworld being locked in a conflict. If I can go there and stop the war, maybe I will understand each side better than just relying on rumors from someone and second to third-hand knowledge. Naruto thought as he made the void sword disappear until he needed it again. How would you get into the underworld, Naruto-kun? Matatabi asked, laying down with the others. They have been content and peaceful since coming to this newer world. Helping Naruto train in their abilities and helping him fight opponents is a common thing. Though Naruto barely had to go above Chunin level to take down some monsters that still lingered around. Since Naruto picked up his father's void sword, Naruto has trained for a long time to master all the moves and techniques his father left him. It has been 324 years since they last saw Alma and Alice. Though Naruto is sure they are still alive, he had no proof. From what I heard, there is a natural portal to the underworld north of here, though it might be guarded by some strong guardian to keep people out, Naruto replied, thinking of all the guardians of the gate to the underworld. Cerberus and some others has popped into his mind. That, and he hopes he ends up in the right underworld this time. He doesn't want to pop in on Hades or Osiris anymore. And don't even get him started on Hell, as she still chases him when he is within the Norse territory. And each passing century more and more or the supernatural world has become myth to humans. Expect those who know the truth. Naruto himself has changed a lot. He is now 385 years old and still looks like he is 18. Has become wiser, stronger, smarter, and much more calm than he was before in his younger years. He now had vast knowledge on fighting to politics. He has lived many lives as a sage, witcher, teacher, knight, framer, and innkeeper. His vast experience and time alive had shown his the beauty and cruelty of this world, and oddly he loved every moment of it. The greatest moment and happiest moments had made him cheer and shout. The saddest and darkest moments had kept him human and made him cry. Every year was something new for Naruto, and he took strides to make the best of whatever he had. He loved the biju like his family, and they returned the love. He was happy to have them with him though this journey. Yeah, alright, but can we please destroy some stuff? Shikaku whined. He may have calmed down and stopped being so bloodthirsty, but he still enjoyed a good battle. And Naruto hasn't had a decent one in 200 years. He is bored, damn it. Calm down, Aniki. I am sure since the underworld is in a civil war we will find some strong people to fight. Naruto chuckled at the whining that is his brother Shikaku. Yes, Kurama and Shikaku cheered while the others just chuckled or laughed at the musing of the first and ninth tale. Be careful, Naruto-kun, Saiken said, worrying over Naruto. Naruto smiled at Saiken's worrying tone. He knew that Matatabi, Saiken, Chomei, and Koko had developed feelings for him these past centuries, which he returned when he was able to enter his mindscape and spend time with the girls. While they were constructs of chakra, they were able to take human form but only did so around Naruto. And while the idea of having a family with the four made the damper blush, he also knew it would be some time before he was able to create a body of flesh and blood for each biju to use, though not impossible to make them a body. He would need to make one strong enough for their essence and being. If it was too weak, they would have to wait to reform, as the weak body would explode from the amount of power a biju possesses. Then Naruto would have to start the whole process over again, and so far he made some strides in effort to make something of living flesh, blood, and bone for all 9 biju. The other male biju found out about this and cheered Naruto on, though they given him a strict warning about harming their sisters. None of the biju never had a relationship like Naruto was having with Saiken, Chomei, Koko, and Matatabi. So it stands to reason why the male counterparts of the biju are acting like bigger older brothers. Naruto knew he was only allowed so many mates, and since the fact he had 4 of them were biju, he knew the girls would only approve of strong women to be Naruto's mates. They didn't mind sharing as long Naruto treated each lover he had with respect, care, and love as the others. Other than that, they called first dips on everything such as marriage, kids, and taking Naruto's first time. Will do, Saiken-chan, Naruto said softly and lovingly as he headed out to the north towards Germany. 1 year before canon. It's been a long road, but finally Mother Nature is healing and there isn't so many negative emotions within her energy, Naruto thought with a smile as he sat under a tree meditating in a peacefully as a smile graced his face. The feeling of senjutsu in his coils, letting nature's energy flow through him as he took the warmth and enjoyment of her energy. It took a long time, but Naruto was able to lessen the negative emotions and energy in nature. It took nearly 500 years, but he was able to lessen it to the point it is no large a danger to enter Sage mode. After helping his friend Serzac win the war, Naruto faded from the spotlight again, only to step forward if the angels, devil, fallen, Greek, Norse, Greek, and Shinto ever needed him. It has been 1 millennia for Naruto, whom is now 1016 years old, and enjoying life. During those years, Naruto has become a legend with many titles: the Last Witcher, the Immortal Nomadic Sage, the Fifth Mao, Daywalker, the Strongest Damper, Elemental Master, and several other titles given to him by varying amounts of other people. In the end, Naruto was still himself. He protected his precious people with his life, and forgiven his enemies even if some others think they shouldn't be forgiven. He continued on enjoying life, teach some the ways of Nishu even though he has never given chakra to anyone of this world. He tried his best spreading peace through understanding and compassion. Oddly, helping the yokai in Tokyo had helped lessen and ease Mother Nature pain and clear up a lot of the negative emotions she was releasing. In turn, he was able, along with others, to enter Sage mode much easier. He had found out people in the world had been using nature's energy wrongly, which had caused the user of Senjutsu to not control the energy correctly. This caused the negative emotions that nature felt to build up and break the mind of anyone who used Senjutsu in the world. Without controlling Senjutsu correctly, they ended up going mad, thus hurting nature more as their hatred and malicious starts to infect nature's energy. During his travels, has found out that time flows much faster in this world. A year will pass for the elemental nation soon. So right now to them it's been almost a year. For Naruto it will be 1,000 years have pasted since he left. The only reason he was able to find this out was Tsunade's summons that will send messages from him to Tsunade and the others. The last letter he sent was about 969 years ago, which he was 38 years old. She stated that was been almost a full year since he left, which threw off Naruto a lot. He doesn't understand how there could be such a big difference in the flow of time for both worlds. It honestly didn't make sense, but he didn't put too much thought into it. It's been a long time, hasn't? Naruto thought with a smile. While he misses them all deeply, he wishes to stop the bloodshed of this world. He had seen the wonders and beauty of this world and wished for everyone to understand each other rather than have a cold war. But with time he supposed it will become peaceful and no one would have to be afraid of getting along with each other. Naruto's violet eyes snapped open to sense someone near as he gazed over to a tree. Someone he is very familiar with. Why is he here? Naruto wondered. While he was in the underworld, Naruto knew many devils let their greed blind them at wanting his power, though he made it nearly impossible. While every devil couldn't add him to their peerage since he is too powerful. They have tried to have several females, be it peerage members or family members, try and court him, and the devils weren't alone on this. Angels, fallen, gods, and several other factions tried this or another tactic, though each faction couldn't get Naruto to choose their side. With the angels, a couple of female angels had gotten to know him and have honestly fallen for him. With the fallen, it was mostly lustful acts, and sending the best-looking female to seduce him, which again didn't work as the 4 lovely ladies he was with didn't approve. With the gods or goddess, several important females such as Hera, Rhea, Hestia, Artemis, Beldani, Urd, Skuld, Nyx, and the list can go on for fucking ever. On the other hand, the fallen have tried as well to have a powerful female court him, though it wasn't effective as Naruto's empathic abilities let him know who to trust. That and the fact they believed Naruto didn't have their longevity kinda came back and bite them in the ass when they found out Naruto is now over 1,000 years old and still the same physical age he was 1,000 years ago. Plus the fact he is strong, if not stronger than the 4 Mao and several archangels combined. Though he never really went above his vampire state or sage mode, as he only needed the biju cloaks and sage of 6 paths mode to take down deity level beings. Ero Tenchi, what are you doing here? Naruto asked, looking at the tree as a man came out, scratching his head in a sheepish fashion. Though he had a slight tick mark developing. My name is Aazel, Naruto, the leader of the fallen angels, said, slightly annoyed. Ever since Naruto had met Aazel in the underworld after the civil war between devils, the man has kept a close eye on Naruto. Aazel too. Naruto was an oddball but a good man at heart. It is hard to determine Azazel's personality, as he is laid back yet serious, while also wise and insane at the same time. His character seems to reflect upon the situation at hand. Aazel loves to collect things, and is a research fanatic, especially on sacred gears. He is also shown to be pacifistic, preferring to talk his way out of troubles rather than resorting to violence. He has been shown to care deeply for his fellow fallen angels, Shemhazai and Barakil. Aazel has also been seen to be extremely charismatic, being able to endear his fallen angel followers. Aazel has complicated feelings on the fact that many of his friends and acquaintances are all married and have a family, though Aazel himself couldn't be any more happy for them and wish them the best. I know. But to me you will always be my Ero Tenchi. Naruto smiled with a slight teasing grin as Aazel's eye twitched. Why, you little, Aazel said before he was cut off by Naruto. So what bring you to visit me on Earth? I figured you would try and teach that girl that has the scared gear we found. Naruto pointed out the little girl he and Aazel both saved from dying on a job Naruto was tasked to hunt down some rouge vampires and devils. Aazel joined in on the hunt to gain information on Naruto to see if he was a threat to fallen angels. Thankfully, Naruto is solely neutral to all factions. Aazel really didn't want to fight a Shinso damper with the strength and power to crush many powerful people, including himself. Naruto is a high-class devil level in his human state alone and is very powerful. When Naruto taps into his vampire state, he could make the ultimate class beings look like rookies. And from what he's seen, Naruto has mastered Senjutsu, and several other things that make him on a Mao or Seraph level. Aazel doesn't know much about Naruto other than he knows Senjutsu is the last Witcher, and can use varying types of magic or something similar to magic at least. Naruto was an enigma to the fallen angel. Of Valan, she is currently under protection with my group, being taught how to tap into her own magical reserves. Her full name is Valena Lucifer, Aazel said as he sat down next to the wondering sage, whom looked at Aazel with a raised eyebrow. A Lucifer, huh? I wonder what happened before we found her, Naruto noted. He only met a few members of the Lucifer family before, and most if not all of them are in hiding. Though he swore on his title as sage not to expose them, he did note that they were afraid of one of their members. They never spoke names, but it's clear that it's best if Naruto remained silent on the matter. It wasn't his place to judge why they were so fearful. Yeah. One of the few remaining alive after the devil clans were 72, and dropped down to the numbers they have now. Only thanks to that peerage system they are slowly increasing their numbers again, as Aazel said, studying Naruto from the corner of his eye. He knew Naruto was far too powerful to be turned into a devil/vampire hybrid. Much to some devils' disappointment, a few angels' joy, he was named the fifth Mao after all, and Serzac even admitted to the others that Naruto was far stronger than him. The peerage system, huh? How are the four doing since my disappearance? Naruto asked, curious as he looks at the only man that has a direct connection to him. Aazel sighs heavily while rubbing his head like trying to banish a bad headache. Not good, my friend. Factions such as my own, Devil, Angel, and even the yokai faction in Tokyo are silently looking for you. Though their reasons differ from faction to faction, I am able to hide you best I can. I am not sure Serzac is aware of you being in Ko, though I suspect it won't be long till he finds you here. Plus the fact you know how to hide from the Greek gods and Norse gods makes you a prime target for that little group you sniffed out, as Aazel said, thinking of all the trouble Naruto is going through to hide certain relics of power. Truly, Naruto was either insane or a damn genius. Why do the devils want me? Naruto asked the intentions of the devil faction. It is that you hold a powerful seat in the underworld, such as the newer fifth Mao. But not only that, you hold several bloodline traits that would boost the power of any of the remaining clans in the Devilldom. Honestly, most of it is because the Elder Council of Devils want to add your power to their families. The Gremory, Citri, Phoenix are 3 of the 15 families that are your allies there. Aazel answered honestly. There is also the fact that you two have a peerage set waiting for you at the castle Ajuka is living at. Aazel added. Naruto hummed and thought but inwardly smiled at the thought of meeting some friends he made in the underworld. The fact that some devil families wanted his power didn't surprise him that much. And the angels? Naruto asked about their intentions. The church wants to see why you're immune to holy items and can even use them. Gabriel, Michael, and Uriel only have your health and well-being at heart. You really did a number on Uriel and Gabriel when you met those 2 girls. From what I hear, they are still smitten with you. Several high-tier angels, such are the other seraphs, wish to thank you for what you did for them, as Aazel said with a shrug. He fell a long time ago, though he still cared for others such as Michael and Gabriel, seeing they are like family to him. The yokai, Naruto asked? The yokai in Kodio, being led by Yasaka, is also smitten by you. Hell, she even gone as far to prepare a ritual for you two to be mated. Though several yokai that do not follow her lead disagree. Naruto smiled and slightly blushed at remembering Yasaka. She was or still is one of the most beautiful women he has ever met. Though he did date her for a length of time, but Naruto broke it off after some old enemies showed their ugly heads. Luckily, Naruto's relationship with Yasaka wasn't found out, so no one knew he dated her. He does miss her though, honestly, but he doesn't want to risk her safely over him being selfish. He will see her again one day, and that is the day he would take her hand. His other mates approved of this. Kurama was a big supporter of Naruto having a Kyuubi for a mate. What about Naruto was cut off by Aazel? Naruto, there is something you should know, Aazel said seriously. Normally Aazel is never the serious unless it's important, or something silly. Some of those greedy devils of the council called for you to be hunted down and brought in, Aazel said, paused, letting Naruto keep up. After a heated debate, Serzac revealed that you're now the 5th Mao of the underworld and your clan, the Uzumaki, now holds a seat of power in the underworld. They did this to keep the council off you, since Serzac knew he couldn't fully stop the council unless you had a seat of power there. But this brings up you're the only remaining Uzumaki of your clan, as you told me yourself that all the remaining members of your clan are dead. So the council moved for a multiple marriage contract to revive your clan. Though thanks to Serzac naming you the new Mao, you are free of any marriage contracts some people might force on you. And since you're a Mao and not just another house, no one can muscle their way with a contract you can't decline. This goes for their control too. Aazel took a breath and let the information sink in for Naruto. Naruto sighs and shook his head. Damn councils here is a pain in the ass too, Naruto thought as he rolled his eyes. He knew he was going to have multiple lovers, But at least he was going to pick them, and not let someone choose for him. Okay, I'm glad Serzac, Serafal, or Ajuka was able to stop them, Naruto commented. The four and him are close friends. He guesses it's now the 5 great Satans and not the 4 great Satans. Yeah, they did. They said that you will either marry 4 to 8 women of your choosing, Aazel said. Though inwardly he felt slightly jealous. Naruto was living the dream according to Aazel. Not only was it natural for a vampire to have multiple lovers, but Naruto was allowed to have 4 to 8 wives. Per Naruto, well, 4 of those spots are taken. Naruto mentally smiled, to which the biju whom are silent during this whole conversation smiled too. Though Matatabi, Koko, Saiken, and Chome blushed happily. Kurama and the others smirked, knowing Naruto wouldn't hurt their sisters. But isn't it against the law for the Satans to have harems? Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. He read up on the laws of each faction so he could understand them better and improve on some things they might need to change. They are overlooking that issue in favor of saving your bloodline for the greater good of the devils. I can tell you this, Ajuka, Serafal, and Serzac weren't happy by the turn of events. They hope you're not angry with them once they tell you. Though no one knows you two ever hold a grudge, Aazel said. Hoping Naruto isn't angry at the 4 Mao. Out of all 5 Satans, Aazel fears Naruto more than the other 4. Naruto was the oldest of the group by a good 400 years. Honestly, no one knows what Naruto is capable of since he never really went all out in battle before. And that in Azazel's mind makes him the most dangerous since Naruto relied on outsmarting his opponents most of the time. That and Naruto only is ever seen using those Witcher signs of his shows his skill to hiding all of his power. Naruto sighs. Guess I have to go with it, though it will cause more trouble if I resist, Naruto said, to which Aazel smiles. Marry a devil, fallen angel, and a vampire of your choosing. Aazel stated simply, like he is talking about the weather, as Naruto's eye twitched for a moment. Did you hit your head or something? Naruto asked as he looked at Aazel, whom was still smiling. Nope. Just go along with it, and I promise you will be happy, Aazel said with a dismissive tone. So who else's knows I am the 5th Mao? Naruto asked, dreading the fact he now going to have to be in the underworld a lot more often. He doesn't really mind being the 5th Mao. While he knew of the meeting because of his spies, he didn't know what happened after the argument took place. Only the high-class and high-ranking devils such as the dukes and such. It's not been made public, so no need to worry till you're ready to run a faction with Serzac and the others, Aazel said. I suppose that is good news, Naruto said, mumbling as he thought about it. Really, the devil faction was one of 3 factions that didn't fear his father. Everyone else but those 3 did fear him. That meant the angels of heaven, which meant Michael, Gabriel, and Uriel knew about his father but didn't know the fact Alucard had a son. Yeah. Another thing, in a year or more I am sending you Velena to train her, Aazel said, hoping Naruto will take the girl. Ever since Aazel had let the fact be known Velena was saved by the last Witcher, she has been asking non-stop to see Naruto, hoping the legendary Witcher would train her in swordsmanship or teach her something really cool. Naruto was really popular with kids. Everyone knew his tales and stories because he wrote about some of them. There isn't one child that isn't a supernatural being that doesn't know Naruto in one form or another. Though Naruto told Aazel he does not write every single thing he has done in his stories. Some are works of fiction and come from Naruto himself. The fact he is Aazel idol for Ika, Loveless, Odd Wings, Stranger in a Strange World, Banished Knight, and The Trial of the Hunter does not make him a fanboy at all. Okay, maybe a little. Anything else I should be aware of, Aazel? Naruto asked. Nah, not as of late. Even though you helped me put this spy network together, our contacts have nothing as of late. So when I know something I will send our usual message to fill you in. What will you do in the meantime? Aazel asked Naruto, curious as to what his friend will do. I will blend in and act as a teacher for the high school near here. It is about to become a co-ed school soon. And from what I learned, little Rias will attend with Akino and Sona. It will be good to see those girls again, Naruto said, remembering the 3 little girls that would always call him on his phone if chase him down to teach them something. Sure, the last time Naruto was in the underworld was to stop the others from killing any type of Nico. Though after Naruto won the debate he disappeared again to never be found unless he wanted. Which to an unaware Naruto is a pain in the ass for everyone who knows him in some form. He was always the voice of reason among the 5. They weren't bad rulers per se. They just made poor choices, and everyone does that. Though the extinction of a whole race should question their leadership. Naruto was able to stop it before any more lives were lost. Well, I guess that will kill some time. Well, I should get going before the guys come and try and find me. Take care, Naru, Aazel said as he got up and walked away. Naruto saw a green glow before that glow too went away. Things are becoming more interesting now, Matatabi purred. Indeed. Let's hope Aazel's crazy idea works, Naruto thought back as he got up and went into his cabin. Thankfully he is a singer going by the name 10 Tails and a writer thanks to his godfather's books and his own. So money really wasn't an issue. Present, or canon period. Naruto sighed as he looked at the papers on his desk, reading them over with a calm, peaceful aura as the early morning sun started to rise. It was always nice and relaxing for him to do work in silence without too much noise. He really has changed a lot while in this world. The fact he has some nice tea with him and a few donuts also made this early morning a bit sweeter and much more better. It's been nearly over 1,000 years in this world since he first originally arrived, and it has been a year in the elemental nations. Naruto is sure Tsunade and the other are either flipping their shits about his age or fainting at the fact he surpassed Hagoromo just in the past 100 years. Something he is very proud of, though he didn't let it get to his head. He was simply content being himself, and training to keep his skills sharp. If he ever needed to step up his training, he can use Kamui and train in his own dimension. Though Naruto is both worshipped in this world and his home world, he is still himself in some fashion. While he has calmed down and matured greatly after many centuries, he still enjoys helping others. Though few can stand toe-to-toe with him, since so much time has passed, he has become stronger each century, and in that time he became a legend to be reckoned with. There is hardly any whom don't know his name. His face, however, isn't seen in history too much. But his name has echoed throughout time for a good part of 800 years. From the Seraph, Mao gods, and etc. from myth and legend, few didn't know him. Few ever seen him, but many knew him from the stories written about him. It should also be stood to mention he was also a great teacher and medical doctor. During his time of colleges, Naruto has gained 27 associate, 19 bachelor, 13 masters, and 9 doctorate degrees. He also privately owns several hospitals, malls, business, restaurants, schools that are funded through him, clinics, colleges, and many banks, making him one of the richest people in the world. And unlike the supernatural side of the world, Naruto worked hard to achieve what he has gained. He put forth a lot of time and effort into building everything he has now. Even now, most of his money is sent off to help those in need or those who need a pick-me-up. The fact he is the author to the world's most popular books is solely for him to remember his godfather. He has been very busy tending more to his normal life than his supernatural life. Sure, there are moments where he should be concerned about the other factions. But right now he has been solely neutral to them all, even the devils, even though he now is the 5th Mao. He does miss every one of his friends, but he also understands that sometimes life gets in the way of things. He is a victim of this as well, because of the sole fact when he isn't a teacher he is a businessman, writer, chef, accountant, witcher, doctor, principal, landowner, bartender, and the list can go on. Basically, there is not one job Naruto cannot do. And since Aazel and him share the same spy network, the best spy network this world has ever seen, mind you, Naruto is aware of the inner workings of each faction and whatever they are planning. Last time he checked his network, everyone is kinda doing their own thing and everything is normal. Unless you account the biblical faction, fallen angels, and devils whom have been at a Cold War state longer than Naruto's patience can last. But time will tell if true peace will become reality in this world. Naruto sat back in his chair and sighs. He is currently wearing black dress slacks, a white short-sleeve button-up shirt with a black muscle shirt under it, a black business vest, a blood-red tie, and black dress shoes. A simple yet professional outfit that fits his current job. His hair is similar to how Geralt wore his, with a half-high ponytail, and the rest of his hair flowing down. His golden sun-kissed color hair is still like silk and only ends at his shoulder blades. 2 bangs frames Naruto's face much like it did for his father Minato. His whisker marks are plainly visible along with his pale sun-tan color skin, which looked flawless and smooth. His wolf amulet that he got from the Witcher school hangs around his neck along with Tsunade's necklace he got from her. He long got over wearing different types of clothes after he got to the point where he needed to blend in with each culture and its people. That and his mates wouldn't allow him to wear what he used to wear anymore. That doesn't mean he likes it. He was still Naruto, and he hates formal events. He hates suits even more, seeing as they are never comfortable for him. His current job is high school home cooking class, where he can teach kids of varying grades how to cook and prepare a healthy meal. Naruto looked at the classroom that is empty and sees the baskets of items the class will be making, a simple yet delicious soup he picked up in China a long time ago. Naruto was also slightly nervous since this is the beginning of a new term for all students. That and the fact Lord Gremory knew he was a teacher here didn't ease Naruto's nerves. While he was on good terms with the man and his family, he also knew that the man has it out for him ever since he pranked Serzac, and him turning their hair hot pink color. In Naruto's defense, it was worth the laugh. Though everyone laughed, Naruto had to dodge Serzac and Lord Gremory spells for a good 4 hours till they got too tired to cast any more high-level spells. Naruto blinked when he felt something at the edge of his senses and looked towards the door for a good 2 minutes before taking out one of his books, Myth and Supernatural. Unlike his other books, which contain centuries worth of knowledge and information, Naruto was researching about the fact he will be turning into a transcendent vampire soon, as he already felt the effects happening from time to time. From what the biju told him, it would be another 6 months unless he taps into his vampire state, which will rush the process. A transcendent vampire. Let's see what Apollo has found for me. Naruto, though, as he read some note the Greek god given him. In various forms of traditional folklore, vampires are often depicted as demonic beings who must feast on the blood of the living to survive and possess vulnerabilities to various things such as sunlight, garlic, holy relics, etc. However, transcendent vampires are arguably completely the opposite. Transcendent vampires are often depicted as supernaturally attractive and possess an appearance identical to the one that they had in their previous life. They also appear to have an inherently mesmerizing aura to their presence. Many mortals or lesser beings may often feel an obsessive desire to be around the vampire in question, or even follow and carry out their commands like mindless slaves. Another thing that makes transcendent vampires unique is that despite them appearing to be related to things such as dark magic or inherently evil aspects, they themselves are not evil in a way that one would think. Since they are basically gods but their base form is a vampire, they are immune to all matter of holy items and in weakness normal vampires may have. This makes them rare in today's world, seeing as the last vampire that could be seen as such as Draal, though he has died or passed away leaving his throne empty. Though it should be noted no one ever found his body. While the transcendent vampire being is nearly all-powerful, they may not choose to use their abilities to their full extent for certain reasons because of moral codes that they set for themselves. This is similar to how those who are omnipotent may not choose to interfere with the affairs of lesser beings unless absolutely necessary or because of personal rules. While the transcendent vampire has no real weaknesses, they may still feel discomfort when outside during the day, as vampires are naturally creatures of the night. Beings of higher power may still defeat the transcendent vampire in combat, though killing them permanently is near impossible since gods themselves reform over time after death, unless something unnatural happens to cause a true death of the god or higher being in question. This also counts for those whom are transcendent vampire, as they would simply slowly heal the damage done to their body. If werewolf and vampires are natural enemies, a transcendent werbeast may be able to defeat the transcendent vampire, possibly even kill the vampire. The powers and abilities of a transcendent vampire are as follows: absorption, emotion absorption, energy absorption, life force absorption, soul absorption, almighty ascension, flawless indestructibility, supernatural survivability, blood transcendency, blood absorption, blood magic, blood manipulation, killing empowerment, prime being, entity lordship, over all vampires, genesis creation, imperceptibility, indomitable will, intangibility, corporealization, mesmerizing presence, defeat, inducement, hypnosis, supernatural beauty, unnatural presence, transcendent physiology, absolute condition, absolute immortality, absolute speed, absolute stamina, absolute strength, limitation transcendence, magic immunity, omnifarious, reality warping, vampire physiology, conversion, vampirization, dark arts, necromancy, reanimation, resurrection, daytime walking, day empowerment, death empowerment, illusion manipulation, absolute illusion, night empowerment, lunar empowerment, and darkness manipulation. Useful information as always, Apollo. I will have to thank him later. Though it stands to reason that some of the abilities are a bit dark for my tastes. Though being my father's son, I guess I shouldn't expect any less. Some of these just make me seem indestructible. Naruto thought with a sweat drop. Seriously, some of these abilities are ones Naruto never heard of, and he never really had a knack for magic other than the science he was trained for as a witcher. But then again, he never could find the right teacher to train him in magic. Necromancy is one he will possibly never touch, seeing what he had to go through during the Shinobi War. Other abilities such as night empowerment are automatic and happens for Naruto subconsciously. He knew his Shinso blood would fuse with his Uzumaki blood, though granted his Uzumaki blood is powerful and just as potent as a full-blooded Uzumaki. The fact his father said he would be the birth of a new type of vampire sorta made Naruto smile. He was heir to the Uzumaki clan and prince of vampires. His dad really knew how to make someone feel special. Ring ring, ring ring, ring ring. Naruto raised an eyebrow as his cell ringed. Picking it up, Naruto answered the phone. Hello? Naruto answered. Naruto! An angry voice shouted on the other line. From the tone and pitch of the voice, Naruto easily can tell it was a woman. That is me. Whom might this be? Naruto asked in a calm voice while reading his book at the same time. This is Isis, the Egyptian goddess. I finally found you. Isis sounded much calmer now. While Naruto blinked for a moment as if to take a double check on what he heard. It's been a long time since he had talked to any of the Egyptian gods or goddess. Ever since Ra was banished, Naruto kinda kept his distance from the Egyptian gods and goddesses. It wasn't till about 200 years ago Ra made a return and took back his throne, thus shifting back the balance of power with the Egyptians, allowing peace to last through the kingdom. No one else knew that Naruto had a hand in Ra's return, and since Ra whipped Isis' memory, including Osiris. This also included any other gods and goddess under his rule. And thanks to Naruto helping Ra lightly punished Isis and Osiris for the wrong they have done him. Isis-chan, it's been a long time. How is Egypt? Naruto asked, leaning in his chair. Peaceful. Ra has finally freed me from my punishment about 2 years ago. I heard a lot of things about you. You have been busy, Lord Naruto, Isis said in a respectful tone. Lord? Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. You didn't hear, dear? 10 years ago a meeting was held between the Greek, Norse, Shinto, Egyptian, and any other pantheon to speak on matters of the world. Then you popped up in the conversation. It was decided that you would be made into a new god, Isis said, dropping some new. Naruto did not hear from his sources. Naruto opened and closed his mouth many times, trying to conform a sentence to describe his state of surprise. That is a surprise, Naruto said, surprised tone. Sure, he become well, no, but damn. Though while it might be useless since he is slowly becoming a transcendent vampire, too bad the Shinto, or moreover the Shinigami had claim over you. That primordial death goddess knows how to win an argument, Isis whined. Naruto was and still is one of the mortal beings she wants to fuck until he or she passes out from pleasure. The other Egyptian goddess share this view, though some goddess do wish to marry Naruto. Isis herself just wants to fuck him till they can't move. Aphrodite and Lilith share this lust for the Uzumaki. Naruto Uzumaki was someone Isis wanted in her bed and she would never let him leave. Shinigami? What does she want with me? Naruto asked. A little known fact is that Shinigami, Yami, and Kami are all females and now are in charge of the Shinto faction. Though he only ran into the Shinto gods after freeing Izanami from the underworld and somehow restoring her primordial status, Naruto never seen the Shinto god/goddess again. He had a sneaking suspicion that they are watching him closely for some reason he isn't quite fully sure yet. They were a hard group to understand sometimes. That's what I wanted to know. So can you please? Isis didn't get to finish as the line went dead. Naruto blinked for a moment, then looked at his phone. That was an interesting piece of information, Naruto thought as he rubbed his forehead to try banish a headache away. He is on good terms with some gods and goddess like Izanami, Poseidon, Hades, Beldani, Urd, Skuld, and some others. While he hasn't seen them in a while, he does know they have their agents follow him from time to time to drop of which are jobs only he can do thanks to his unique skill set. Though he didn't mind it, he wished that some of the goddess that were after him stopped. He was mated to 4 drop-dead beautiful amazing women, and he only wanted them. He didn't mind having 1 to 4 more as long his wives didn't mind. But he truly did love Matatabi, Koko, Chome, and Saiken, and he was quite happy with them. Love you too, Narukoi. Koko, Chome, Matatabi, and Saiken cheered. They have never been more happy and content before. They truly did love Naruto. Naruto smiled lovingly at his wives/mates' voices. He could hear the male biju either clap, gag, or just sigh. Shikaku, Kurama, Gyuki, Isabu, and Son Goku loved their siblings, but they really wished they weren't always there when the girls flirted with Naruto. It was slightly embarrassing for them as they have no interest in love since no woman piqued their interest. Every one of the biju were ready for their own bodies of flesh and blood. The male biju loved their little brother, but they didn't want to hear roars and moans of pleasures from the female biju. The bell soon rang for school to begin, and Naruto mentally pushed all those thoughts away as one by one his students were coming in slowly. Naruto mentally smirked as he saw the disbelieving looks he was getting from most of his class, which are female. A lot of them were blushing madly at their hot sensei, though 3 certain girls he is familiar with couldn't stop their mouths from hitting the ground. Sona is a young bespectacled woman in her late teens with a slim figure, black hair styled in a short bob cut, and violet eyes. She does make the girls' uniform of Ko Academy girls look good. The uniform consists of a white long-sleeved, button-down shirt with vertical linings, a black ribbon on the collar, a black shoulder cape and matching button-down corset, and a magenta skirt with white accents. Though quite plain, she looks beautiful in the uniform of Ko High. Naruto remembers when she was just a little girl promising him that she will marry him and trying so hard to learn signs that Naruto uses. It was adorable when Naruto first heard her. It was also the first time Serafal and her became rivals. Naruto looked to Sona's right and saw Rias. Rias is a beautiful young woman who appears to be in her late teens with white skin, blue-green in the anime, and a buxom figure. Her most distinctive feature is her long, beautiful crimson hair that reaches down to her thighs, with a single hair strand sticking out from the top. Her hair also has loose bangs covering her forehead, and side bangs framing her face. Rias also wears the Academy Girls' school uniform, which consists of a white long-sleeved, button-down shirt with a black ribbon on her shirt collar worn under a black shoulder cape and a matching button-down corset, a magenta skirt with white accents, and brown dress shoes over white crew-length socks. Rias has become a very beautiful woman like her mother. Though both him and Venelana tease her about both Naruto and Rias marrying. Oddly, she blushed and worked even hard to prove she will be his wife. Akino is a young woman with a buxom figure around the same age as Rias with very long black hair and violet eyes. Her hair is tied in a long ponytail, reaching all the way down to her legs with 2 strands sticking out from the top and sloping backwards, with an orange ribbon keeping it in place. Like most of the girls at Ko Academy, she wears the customary Ko Academy girls' school uniform, along with black knee-high socks, which Naruto approves to her outfit and brings out some of her beauty and not her sexual body. So she decided to follow his advice. He always saw Akino as a beautiful young woman whom just needed compassion and love to heal. The 3 have grown into fine young women since he last saw them. A smile crossed Naruto's face as everyone slowly filtered in one by one. Naruto is just enjoying the 3 looks of disbelief on the girls' faces. He remembered them being so young and cute. In fact, he oddly sometimes feels like an older brother or family member, though he never really stayed in one place too long. He did visit everyone he knew that is still alive, when he can. Though they promised to marry him, which he found adorable at the time, he oddly wonders if they were serious since he teased the 3 about it. They have grown though. I can see they are stronger than before too, Naruto thought with a smile. He never really took in student during his travels as he had to stay moving in order to avoid certain beings way back then that or his damn fangirls. Q shiver. Please everyone be seated and we can begin class, Naruto said softly, which caused the whole class to sprint into action following Naruto's command. Naruto smiled kindly, to which caused several girls to blush, and 3 of those girls glared daggers at the other females present. I am Naruto Uzumaki, but you can call me Naruto or Uzumaki-sensei. And I would like to welcome you to home cooking class. I hope we all get along. In front of you is a basket full of ingredients meant for a soup we will make today. So when you're all ready, grab an apron and we will begin class, Naruto said in a semi-serious, very that was stern yet soft voice. All the girls and few boys that were in the class nodded as they followed Naruto's instructions. Lunchtime. I wonder how everyone is doing back at the Elemental Nations. Also, I sent Sasuke's sword back a bit ago only because I broke it. It has served me well, I will admit that, Naruto thought as he ate some food from his bento he made early this morning. Though he was sure as soon as he got back to the nations he was going to get an earful from Sasuke about breaking his sword. While Naruto had the Void Sword, Eclipse, and Aazel, which were powerful blades. The Void Sword belonged to his father, and is very much an heirloom that Naruto will pass down the generations. Though Aazel and Eclipse will stay by his side. Eclipse is one of 2 gifts given to him by the Greeks whom had Poseidon, Erebus, Apollo, and Hephaestus had a hand in making the sword known as Eclipse Aka, the sword of light and darkness, which it was called by many who knew the blade. Forged from celestial silver, this sword made any supernatural being bleed like they were. Second gift Naruto was given or allowed to have was the power and control over time and space, which he gained after making Cronus human thanks to his Rinnegan, whom he killed swiftly without anyone seeing the ring die. Though Zeus and Athena were alarmed Naruto was able to do such a thing to Cronus. When they asked him he simply said, sorry, it's a family secret. Needless to say, Zeus wasn't happy and Athena never stopped bothering him about it, trying to uncover his secrets. Hades and Poseidon could have cared less, as they respected Naruto's privacy. Aazel was given to Naruto by a high elf woman whom he helped and saved many times nearly 925 years ago. He oddly wonders what happened to her, but he hasn't seen many elves anymore. They could have gone into hiding, but then again elves were wise in the ways of magic, as Naruto experienced firsthand. They were immortal until killed, which mean they had eternal youth and not the true immortality like one would think. Aazel from Lords of the Rings. It's been nearly 5 hours since Naruto has started school for his first day. He knew Rias, Akino, and Sona would try and get him before the day ends, as it's been more than a good 8 years since he last saw them. Naruto knew they would demand answers to where he went and what he had done. Naruto sighed for 100th time as he popped his neck looking at some lesson plans for his class. It hasn't been more than 2 hours since his lunch break has ended, and he can already feel Rias, Sona, and Akino emotions from where he was. They were becoming slightly restless and antsy, which maybe he could understand as they were always with him when he was in the underworld visiting Serzac and Serafal, Ajuka, or Falbium, to which he owed them another visit as he had some questions about this whole 5 great Satans Serzac came up with. Truthfully, yes, adding more Satans is possible as long the other Satans are in agreement. And one doesn't need to be a devil to be a Satan, honestly. The old Lucifer saw power and strength was far more important than race. From Naruto's understanding of the angel-turned-devil, he saw power was the only thing that mattered to him, as rage and anger clouded his mind. Plus, if someone was also strong enough, they could kill the governing Satan and take his her place in a mortal combat-like fashion where both parties fight to the death. The winner would either win the seat of Mao or the other party would keep their seat. He had no real problem with the devils. Where some of them were bad as legend and myths say, well, less now than there once was. Every faction from Naruto's point of view had flaws, and honestly that was okay to not be perfect. Perfection was an illusion to Naruto, and no one could ever really achieve it. While he didn't understand why so many tried to gain it, he himself tried to live simply as possible. Says the vampire prince about to become a transcendent vampire and king of all vampires, Kurama said, poking at Naruto, only to get smacked across the head by Matatabi and Chome. Even if I become a transcendent vampire, Kuramani, I will not be unstoppable or unbeatable. There is always something lurking around the corner much stronger than me. If I am to protect our family, then I will not stop training to protect you nine and all my other precious people. You've seen for yourself that even gods and titans can fall and die. That doesn't mean I cannot die. I am sure somewhere somehow something will come around and prove even a threat to me that will end my life. Naruto spoke wisely. He held no illusion that he would be unbeatable after his transcendent state has begun. He had learned that the biblical god has died, so that meant every other god and higher being can die. That's right, Naruto Tuto. We all train to protect our little family and our precious people. It's what makes us strong, Gyuki said in agreement. The rest of the biju nodded in agreement. These last 1,000 years they haven't been slacking either. Shikaku to Kurama have all trained with Naruto and with each other, and thus they became stronger than they were in the past. They had several jutsu and few magic spells under their belt. That, and seeing as they trained in their human form, they were able to train in a much more brutal manner. Shikaku wielded a halberd with great skill, and combined with his sand and other abilities he becomes very dangerous. His bojutsu allow him to fight with the brutal style he loved. But he was dangerous with mid-long range and was above Kage level. Marabi had developed gauntlets of her blue fire to increase her taijutsu strength and power. Combined with her natural quickness and agility, she was above Kage level just like Shikaku. Though it stood to reason to never let her flames touch you. Aisabu had a more best defense as the best offense style, as he carried nothing but armor and his fists. He was the true tank of the group and often at times were one of the hardest ones to take down because of his unnatural defense. He was similar to Naruto, who could keep taking hits and getting back up again. Somehow he wasn't lazy when training. He used the MMA glove style to allow him to box as it was his fighting style. The gloves also allowed enough freedom for his fingers to perform hand signs. Son Goku was the neutral ground opposed to weapons. He often had a bow staff, or some kind of spear with him, as he too trained in bojutsu, staff techniques. Combined with his lava fist style and large amounts of strength, he was close to the muscle of the group, much like Gyuki. Coco was the speed type and often overpowered everyone with her abnormal speed and strength. Combined with her arm blades that are razor sharp along the blade allowed her not only to cut her foes down, but to dance and spin around them, moving at high speeds, making her dangerous. Saiken, however, is the healer type and often or not knows just as much medical ninjutsu as Naruto. This often puts her the most dangerous because she can kill anyone with just a touch of her hands. To make up for the fact she doesn't cover the front lines like the others, she is also a great poison maker. She can use her chakra like Tsunade and Sakura to make her strength 100 times stronger, and she is very good at her acid-like jutsu, which isn't pretty. While she doesn't really rely on weapons, she does carry 2 daggers around, which she gotten very good at. Chomei is very much the technique and speed type similar to a martial artist. Hitting key points on the body such as pressure points and breaking joints on the body, rendering a human, or being immobile. She also uses what is called the lax with her style to often or not very dangerous in her hands. She also is able to fly at great speeds and control flesh-eating bugs that will hardly leave any evidence. Gyuki was the muscle of the group, often or not with Son Goku they were the 2 heavy hitters. Gyuki, combined with his lightning affinity, is able to move at blind speeds faster than most can react if you aren't used to him. He normally has a giant sledgehammer that arcs lightning and does massive damage and can destroy something on an atomic level. He is also very good at channeling his lightning with his taijutsu, much like the Reikage, allowing his massive size to move at great speeds. Kurama was more like Naruto, as Kurama was a swordsman and took up twin okatanas as his main weapon. With his high wind and fire elements, Kurama can launch storms of fire and wind at his opponent, while also channeling his futon into his swords, increasing the cutting power greatly. Unlike some of the others, Kurama mostly relies on his speed and agility for a fight. All the biju when in human form are about SS rank shinobi capable of widespread destruction on their own. When Naruto and the biju are together though, do I really need to explain how fucked someone is? Yeah, you're right, Gyuki and I. Though I wish some of our Witcher friends had survived that war we all fought in. Geralt, Saskia, Triss, Yennefer, Ciri, and everyone. We all fought so hard to protect our home from that dragon. In the end, only I and Saskia survived. Naruto thought about the past. The war is called the Last Stand of Witchers, where every Witcher, no matter what school, came all together to slay a dragon and his army from killing thousands in its wake. In the end, him and Saskia survived, while everyone else, including his best friend Geralt and little Ciri, died protecting the humans. He hasn't seen Saskia, nor does he know if she is alive. He does know she wasn't human, and that was about it. Geralt promised to keep Saskia's race a secret, and he took that secret to the grave with him. It was a dark and dangerous war, Narukuin, and you all knew the risks. They fought bravely till their last breath, and the battle echoed throughout history. Always remember them for what you all stood for. Never stop moving forward, Koi Saiken said softly to her lover. She had gotten close to Naruto over time, and in that time Naruto loved her for her, and she couldn't be any more happy. And while it was hard for their little brother or lover to lose all those he held dear, he still endured and survived for all his loved ones that he lost. Naruto was a true shinobi. Not only was he able to endure, but he was able to strive and survive when all thought he would break or crumble. Yet he didn't break, fall, or lose what makes Naruto himself. He was always able to hold on to that bright smile and loving personality. And that is probably why so many want to know who he really is and who his parents are. Normally vampires do not even bother with other races, and the fact they are very strict about keeping their pure bloodlines going. More so than the devils and every other race. But Naruto made the vampires, as in all of them, stop to think. Something about this damper was not natural, and they could sense that. But they didn't know why or what he is. They didn't attack him or try and kill him either, since he defeated Akasha Blood River, whom is one of the major leaders in the Darko faction, including the fact she is one of the 3 Dark Lords. They have been wary of Naruto ever since he beaten and fought every powerful pure blood noble without much trouble. Akasha herself invited him to become a part of her house and be part of her family. Though Naruto declined and disappeared shortly after the battle was his. Many vampires of noble blood wished to test their strength against his. Though most of them are younglings barely out of their 200 years. So what's our next training session going to cover? Shikaku said, a lot more calmly and matured tone of voice. Most likely maximizing our jutsu and spells. I want to have less input and a bigger output of power. That way we can not just save chakra but use the fullest extent of our justu. But as for me, I am going to try and summon my wings without going into my vampire state, and also try to control my psionic powers as they are starting to develop now. Though I wish I had a teacher since it would be so much easier. Naruto thought back. The first time him and the biju noticed the ability like telekinesis. Naruto's face got hit with a frying pan when he went to grab it. All the biju but his lovers laughed their asses off as Naruto had no control over the ability. It was either him pulling something to him way too fast, and it smacked him in the face, or something he pushed outwards, and it was sent at Mach 15 speeds. Rough guess around 11,418 miles per hour. At least that's what Google says. I am sure with time and practice you will master all your abilities, Koi. Just be patient, and the time will come when you have control over your psionic abilities, Chome said in a supporting tone. Naruto smiled at his wife being supportive of him. Hey Koi, do you think we should start preparing the bodies you made? Matatabi asked as her sibling all paid attention. Over the centuries Naruto has studied every magical art, including Nishu. He was able to make a body thanks to his yin-yang release, Uzumaki blood, his own cells, medical chakra, and several other high-taxing techniques. Just 5 years ago Naruto had made the first biju body thanks to many trials and effort. While he was nervous about the biju getting harmed in some way, they had complete faith in his skills. The body was designed to have his immortality in mind and his Uzumaki healing factor. A lot of his Uzumaki cells and or DNA went into the body, thus allowing the biju to be safely transferred into the newer body. When they are transferred safely and correctly, their bodies will automatically adapt to the sudden growth in chakra levels and shift around to allow the biju to sink in with the body, thus making them their own flesh and blood. The fact his vampire genetics are fused with his Uzumaki genes will make them immortal like him, though they will not become a vampire like him, which was odd at first. But he didn't question his tests, as he continued his work hoping to bring his family to the physical plane, and so they could never be used for their power again, which was another plus on making these bodies. I suppose so, but you will all have to have chakra locks on you all till you all gain control over your chakra. Though it shouldn't take long since the bodies will naturally shift and change in order to fit you each perfectly. Naruto thought about the bodies he made. He wanted to call them blanks, as the body is nothing but the few necessary organs to survive, plus it takes so damn long to make a human-like body from scratch. And it takes even longer for the type of body Naruto is making. Sounds good. When should we start? Naruto Todo Isabu asked in a lazy tone. We will start this coming weekend. I will send a reinforced Kagebunshin to here so I can attend you all while the transfer begins. If I wasn't immortal like I am, I would have died once you all leave. Lucky I am able to survive because my vampire blood and my Uzumaki life force. Naruto relied as he heard the bell ring. All the biju smiles at this and were happy at this. Naruto heard the bell ring again as the last 2 periods of the day were about to begin. Sadly for Naruto, this was the end of his shift, as after lunch he is off and free to go home. Why are kids not interested in cooking anymore? I remember when Siri used to nag at me for a bowl of ramen. And how Rias and Sona used to always want to eat the sweet bread I made. And the cinnamon rolls I made always brought in Serzac and the others whom came running after they found I was cooking. Gabriel would always ask me to make her those cake dumplings, and Michael would eat that maple smoked salmon with a side of salad. Aazel enjoyed that medium rare steak that I slowly cooked and seasoned with a few herbs. Wonder what should I make tonight for dinner? Naruto paused and thought as he gathered his stuff. Naruto smirked when he heard 3 pairs of feet running towards his class. Sorry girls, time to test how much you grow, Naruto said as he finished gathering his things and disappeared in a flash of gold and yellow. Naruto's house. Naruto appeared in his modest home with a decent-sized kitchen, living room, master bedroom, indoor onsen, and a study or office where Naruto keeps his books on various beings and monsters he still hunts. Naruto's kitchen is a modern-like cabin kitchen with an island in the middle, so he has a place to prepare his food. The living room has a futon couch, a 70-inch HD plasma TV, several gaming systems, a smooth stone fireplace, and varying other things that make his house homey. The onsen has a heating feature to allow Naruto to have a hot tub whenever he wants. Also the fact it has a great view of the stars when he baths at night. Lucky the windows are a one-way window that allows him to bathe in peace. Naruto's bedroom is a simple queen-size bed with red crimson silk sheets, 2 nightstands at his side, a dress and walk-in closet for his clothing. It was simple and Naruto liked that way. His study was more for his weapons, books, armor, gear, and whatever else he had during these centuries. With Eclipse and Naruto resting in his office until he needs them, or his gut telling him to seal them away for use. He had an underground training field meant for sparring, which also holds several other rooms, but more on those later. Naruto sat down on his futon couch and pulled out his cell phone and placed it on his coffee table. That is a modified chest he got during a raid on a castle that happened 300 about years ago. While he stopped any crime or something inhumane, Naruto was given this chest by the survivors of that raid. The fallen queen and her daughter, whom later escaped with Naruto's help the following night. Naruto sat back and closed his eyes, meditating while waiting for a phone call or Rias and the girls to knock on his door. It will be some time before some of any faction calls him. Unknown location. It has been a while since I have seen him, a woman spoke as she exited off a plane. Wait for me just a bit longer, please. We have a lot to talk about, Naruto said as she walked off. Underworld. I miss Naruto and I, a red-headed Mao thought with a whine as he filled out paperwork. This Mao is none other than Serzac Lucifer, one of the 5 great Mao who govern the underworld. Like all Mao, they were tasked with watching over the whole kingdom of Devilbaum and its people. Serzac is currently thinking of his elder brother figure Naruto Uzumaki, whom taught him swordplay, alchemy, tracking, and some other things that helped Serzac in his everyday life. When the civil war started between the devils, the entitled Satan faction was losing badly till Naruto came around and slaughtered a mass of devils using his speed and swordplay alone. The way he held Eclipse still sent shivers down Serzac's spine, as the sword could slay anything supernatural. But thankfully Naruto turned the tide of the war, and with Serafal, Ajuka, himself, Naruto, and Falbium they were able to lead a large assault on the old Satan faction and win despite the overwhelming odds they would lose. That one loss of the battle for the old Satan faction started to turn things around as the new Satan faction started winning battle after battle. Serzac thanked whatever deity that sent Naruto to them. Without him they would have lost. But they were able to turn the tide, win some cities, and most importantly push back the old Satan faction. Though the war was over 200 to 350 years long, Serzac and the other 5 were able to bring forth hope to this more new devil world. Maybe I should give him a call and invite him to dinner. I am sure Mom would like to see him again along with Ota-san. Plus it would give a good chance for Sochi-kun to meet his uncle, Serzac said, thinking. While each Mao was tasked with a job that is important for their survival, Naruto Uzumaki was only tasked with his Witcher career and hunting down the Remain Devils or any Rouge Devils that has betrayed their master. Since Naruto had no really task, he was much more free than Serzac or the others. Though it's a given as Naruto was the strongest of them, with Serzac coming in as second, even though he is one of the top 10 strongest existence in the world along with being a super devil. Honestly, the man was just glad Naruto saw him as a little brother. Yee-ch-ch-ch-ch-ch, a woman shouted. Serzac blinked and looked at a maid whom made the sound. She was on the phone with a shocked expression. What do you mean? Uzumaki-sama is in KUOH, and he is a teacher at KUOH High. The maid shouted with a lack of calmness that a lot of his maids have when tending to the castle. Serzac's eyes widened and his jaw dropped. He couldn't believe his older brother figure was in the same city as his beloved Ryustan. Aniki, how do you sneak around so much? And without alerting anyone, Serzac thought in wonder. Sure, Naruto was famed to be just as powerful if not strong than Serzac himself. But it's how he sneaked around without alerting anyone that made it harder to track him. Sure, given the training Naruto went through, he could understand why Naruto was so hard to track. Having being taught by witchers and a ninja master tends to give some perks others don't have. Naruto's home. Naruto blinked and looked up in questioning wonder. Why do I feel like I am going to be having a lot of people calling me? Naruto thought with a raised eyebrow. Before shrugging his shoulders and starting to cook a meal for himself. He is making smoked salmon, some mashed potatoes with home-made brown gravy, and finally some slow-cooked green beans with bacon and some thinly sliced onions. It's been a bit over 2 hours since he left Ko Academy, and he is currently waiting on the girls to find his place. He left a limited trail for them, but he left behind enough for them to find him regardless. All they have to do is try and find his chakra, with he hasn't been hiding for the good part of an hour. After leaving his kitchen to let his food cook a bit more before he eats, Naruto went to his study not too far from his kitchen and grabbed a book on sirens, only to open the book to a blank page. Naruto started writing. Sirens and lamias of this day and age have evolved from their day and age. They would draw men in by their lustful bodies and beautiful voices to only feast on their flesh and organs. While not much is known about this sudden change in their diet, it could be because of a survival defense in all living things. Nowadays, human males or any males in gender regardless of race are now only means to reproduce, as they no longer need males as a food source. Running into this new breed of sirens and lamias have promised a bright future for the two races, though they are still physically powerful and have more than enough strength to crush 50 mortal trained men with their hands alone. I have also noted that during my time meeting a certain siren female, she was able to sing a song that would not only kill her foe but also cause his cells and tissue in her body to break down until death has claimed them. The lullaby of death they call it, but if one were to hear the tune like I have fighting alongside that siren female, then it would be a beautiful song to die to. Harpies and several other species have evolved to seem more human and less like their ancestors. These changes do not bother me but do make me curious. As long as I have been alive, more and more species have changed. Once was an ugly creature has now turned into a woman that could be passed off as a model or a man that could be duped handsome. It is unclear to why these changes occur, but one thing is certain, that there will be less jobs involving these female species. I will have to ask an elder elf on her thoughts of these changes. But again, I do not know nor am I aware of why such beings as sirens have become even more lovely. Naruto finished his notes on sirens and lamias. They were two of an all-female race that needed other males from other spices to produce offspring. And regardless of what the father is, the child shall be a female siren or female lamia like the mother. It was an interesting subject, but at least lamia and sirens were becoming less and less of a problem. Get up! Naruto walked to his kitchen and got his food and started eating it all with slow haste, as he knows the girls will be coming soon. If not, then damn, he makes one good salmon. Naruto continued to eat until he finished his food. Summoning a Kage Bunshin to clean the kitchen and dishes, Naruto went to his study with his cell phone in hand. He wanted to test how far Rias, Akino, and Sona has grown. So he will be putting on his armor and swords. Just like he did with Serzac, Naruto will see what they need to work on so it can be fixed. Naruto put on his combat-grade black cargo pants with his hardened leather combat boots similar to the ones those assassins use. For his chest, Naruto wore a thermal black shirt with fishnet mesh armor under it. He also added his K or Morhen armor similar to what he wore back when hunting monsters with Geralt. He put on his wolf amulet and Hokage necklace so they can be seen in plain view. Naruto then added his bracers similar to what Umbu used back in his village with fingerless gloves on his hands. Tying his hair in a with a half-high ponytail and the rest of his hair flowing down as his hair ended at his shoulder blades. Naruto put on Aazel and Eclipse on his back. Stored away several items for his gear and various other things. As he never really knows when he will be back home. He is often at times called away for hunting down a Rouge Devil or some kind of Rouge Priest. Ring ring, ring ring, ring ring. In speaking of which, Naruto thought as he answered his phone. This is Naruto Uzumaki. Whom might this be? Naruto said as he looked over one of his swords he gotten from Ares after besting the god of war in a straight-on-sword duel. Naruto respect him as a warrior, but Ares had one too many screws loose just like his father Zeus. Aniki, a male voice shouted. Naruto blinked at the loud shout. Only 2 people ever called him Aniki in this world. One is Serzac Lucifer, whom Naruto taught a few things and also became the elder brother figure he always wanted. Or Michael the Archangel, whom went on several monster hunts with Naruto and even learned some things from Naruto. Though from the tone and sound of the voice it could only be his little brother figure Serzac Lucifer. Aotuto, it's good to hear from you, Naruto said with a small smile. You're a Mina Aniki. How come you didn't tell me you were in Ko? Serzac whined on the other line. Naruto heard wind rushing by Serzac, which popped some questions for Naruto, but he pushed them to the side. Sorry Otuto, you know that I don't stay in one place for long. So how is the kingdom? Naruto asked, going to his living room and sitting on his couch. He kept an ear out and his sense up in case Rias and Sona popped up. But he hasn't heard them yet. The kingdom is fine. Me and the others miss you, Aniki. Mom and Dad wish to see you again. On other news, I had made you into an Uncle, Serzac said with a bright smile, thinking of his son. Era? My little brother has a lover and a son? Naruto asked with a faint smile, happy for his brother. No girlfriend or wife, sadly. The woman I wished to wed died during the birth of my little Milikass, Serzac slightly depressed. While his son is pure blood devil like himself, and inherited his power of destruction. Sadly, the mother of his child didn't make it, and Serzac has not only been the ruler of all devil kind but also a single father. At times it was lonely, but Serzac made the best of it, and raised his baby boy the best he could. He had his peerage and his family watch after Milikass when he was too busy, but other than that Serzac played with his son when he was free. Naruto frowned at this news as he hates people he loves and cares for sad or depressed. Tell you what, how about me, you, and little Milikass go out and have a field day at amusement park? Naruto offered to snap Serzac from his saddened state. Serzac on the other end smiled at his older brother. That would be great, Aniki, but I am busy as Mao of the underworld. I hardly have time to read little Milikass a bedtime story, which is our together time, Serzac admitted. Kage Bunshin Naruto was the only thing Naruto said as Serzac blinked and pouted. Kage Bunshin, Naruto's well-known technique for making solid life-like copies of himself. Not only is it useful, it's nearly downright cheating at the usefulness of it. When Serzac first saw it, he thought he was seeing some kinda illusion magic Naruto could do. But when Naruto explained him how the Kage Bunshin works, Serzac was downright envious of his older brother. To be able to create corporeal clones instead of illusions that can not only act and think for themselves but also send feedback and information to the original user allows this technique to be used for anything like training, cooking, paperwork, studying, keeping one's skills sharp, paperwork, and etc. Did Serzac even mention how it would be useful for paperwork? How Serzac envied his brother for this technique. What's worse is that Naruto and his children could be the only ones able to use this technique. Cheater, Serzac said. Ninja, Naruto countered with a smile. Touche, Serzac said before he continued. Okay, Aniki, we will do it your way. We will have to pick up Milikass from school though. So tomorrow around 10? Serzac asked. Lucifer Castle at 10. Got it, Otuto. See you soon. Naruto smiled fondly at the thought of hanging out with Serzac and little Milikass. Naruto hung up the phone and went out of his home to meet up with Rias, Akino, and Sona, whom were in the sky, most likely under a spell to keep them invisible. Using his vampire speed plus his shinobi speed, Naruto disappeared in a blur of motion and appeared in a clearing about half a mile from his home and deeper into the woods. Naruto looked around and scratched the back of his head. Should I go Chunin or Jounin level on them? Naruto spoke aloud to himself. He could go Chunin level, but he doesn't want to show he is hold back too much, but then again if he goes Jounin level then a lot of his jutsu will be too showy and attract attention of the wrong kind. Plus, if his powers flare to great, some people whom are his friends such as Aazel, Michael, and Serzac will send someone to protect him, though he already beat all 3 of them in several different ways. He could do many things, but then Naruto got an idea. High Chunin will do. Naruto said cheerfully before his sense alerted him to an incoming of lightning. Naruto sidestepped a blot of lightning without looking where it came from. She still doesn't use her lightning to its full potential, and her strikes are out of anger and hate. Every time she attacks she burns more energy than Rias, who is a as well spell type, Naruto thought as he turned towards the three girls with annoyed faces. They appeared angry and Naruto knew why. But it's not with his sudden appearance that made them angry most likely. Naruto crossed his arms and looked at the three girls he partially raised. Rias Germie, a spell type user and has the same power as her older brother. Often a smart girl and kind to her servants, she would be dangerous on the battlefield when she become older. Akino Himejima, a spell type, strength type, and speed type, as she mastered all her queen abilities, though she had not perfected and honed them like Naruto has over the course of a millennia. She was most likely the most dangerous, seeing she is a turned hybrid of fallen angel and devil. Sona Citri was the same as Rias, as she is spell user and a great with strategies and plans, make her more brains than anything else, which is her biggest weakness. Out of all the battle types there are, they master such common ones. Even Serzac is a spell, speed, sword, strength, skill, and power type, though it's a given he is a Mao and mastered several arts. These girls have much to grow, just like when I met Serzac all those centuries ago, whom was only a spell and skill type. Though I will not deny their progress, I was expecting more. Their magical power has increased greatly, much like a high-class devil power would be, and Akino is about a high mid-class devil, meaning she is still training. Most likely she has 6 fallen angel wings at this point. But only half of her true strength, Naruto thought as he studied the girls. It's been a while, Rias-chan, Akino-chan, and Sona-chan. You have grown quite beautifully, and I can see you're all a lot stronger than before, Naruto said with a calm face, studying the girls. Rias blushed as the beautiful comment as the other two, though Sona was better at hiding it than Akino and Rias. Hi Uzumaki-sama, it has, Sona said in a calm neutral tone, trying to get rid of the small dust of pink on her face. Uzumaki-sama? What happened to Naruto-ni or Naruto-kun? Naruto asked with a tilt head. Rias and Akino would often call Naruto by using the kun or ni at the end of his name, showing people how close he is to the girls. Rias straightened up and talked like a noble lady she is. We heard from our families you're the 5th Mao and rightfully have a noble house in the underworld. Rias explained, slightly nervous that the man she looks up to greatly is in fact the new 5th Mao. Though their laws don't say the current Mao couldn't add another Mao. Nor does it matter if someone like Naruto is a devil or not, as he proved his strength and rightful place among the Satans. Naruto rolled his eyes, which the girls saw. Just because I am the 5th Mao doesn't mean I do not help the others I know. Michael in heaven given me the title Paladin because he wanted me to have access to their sources, including working alongside him. The title, while I do not know why I was given it, doesn't make me any more special than anyone else, Naruto said with a shrug. He had many titles and a lot of them came from his friends or a group he worked with. With the devils Naruto was given Mao, with the angels he was given the title Paladin, and with the fallen angels he was given the title Commander, though he gets nothing really special from the titles other than access to each faction, and some people whom wish to follow him, and be his soldiers. Though each faction has their own reason for doing this. With the devils Serzac and the other did it as a form of protection, and keep him from being marked by the council and any other devil that wanted his power or blood. And being less than half of the remaining devil clans wished to help him instead of hunting him down like the council and several families pushed for, most likely wanting him to become a breeding factory and make the devils strong. That is the bad side of devils, but lucky for Naruto. They fear the other 4 more, as every devil knows that Naruto is close to them. With the angels it was a sign of friendship between Michael and him, as Naruto can never join the church fully, but he still aids the seraphs, as he is their ally. This allows him not to be targeted by priests, though several priests dislike him, and see him as an abomination and needed to be purified from the world. Oftentimes or not, Naruto finds himself facing Rouge priest that hates his guts, and wish the worst things possible. It was these men Naruto was tasked to hunt, despite Michael, Gabriel, and Uriel wanting him to be safe and not hunt down these priests. Which is why most of the paladins or exorcists call him the Dark Paladin or Cursed Paladin, as he does a lot of darker work the church won't do but needs to do. An example is hunting down and killing any Rouge priests that wander around or pop up in the world. With the fallen angels the title Commander is because Naruto was allowed to have his own fallen angel soldiers and train them how he wishes, though he never met his men/women. He does know there is a sole faction of fallen angels that solely wish to follow him and have him be their leader. While Naruto was honored by them wanting him to be their leader, he does know that those angels are part of Azazel's group. They do jobs for Azazel, though they do it in his name. He planned to meet his soldiers soon as he found a certain turned vampire by the name Duncan Frost. With the help of several other grown Dampiers, he was hunting down a mad scientist that planned to overthrow the Pure Bloods by trying to find samples and several other items that his father had, which included his own father's blood. Too bad Naruto has every single thing his father left him, including the Chaos Claws, Void Sword, blood techniques, and several other relics of great importance that his father owned, including the vials of blood that belonged to his dad. Naruto wouldn't let people take his father's powers for their own greed or lust, as his own powers he gained could shake and shape the very landscape with one attack. He had a hard enough time keeping his vampire state from leaking out every time he was near a vampire woman such as Akasha Blood River or any of the vampire queens that remain. If he let it leak out, his secret wouldn't be a secret for long, as vampires of every type would flock to him like a moth to a flame. He had enough trouble dealing with the Queen of the Damned, Akasha Blood River, No Life Queen, Morgan, Carmilla, Celine, Sasha, and several other powerful female vampires he really doesn't want to deal with. If they found out he was Alucard Darkle's son, it would open the gates of hell for Naruto, and there would be no shutting it. Thankfully, Naruto has Fuinjutsu to automatically keep his vampire blood hidden from those who knew his father. He didn't need any attention from any of the vampire lords and ladies. If people found out about him being the sole heir to the throne his father left behind, it would cause a shift in power to go towards the vampires, devils, fallen, and angels. You're not surprised? Sona asked with narrow eyes. No one knew Naruto's status of him being fifth Mao outside of the devil faction, and even then it was only the higher classes who knew. From what she figured, he wasn't told that, but his reaction doesn't match. Either he already knew or he expected this. I lived for 1017 years. Not much can catch me by surprise, Sona-chan. If it does, it will have to be something out of left field at completely random. Naruto shrugged, playing it off that he has informants in every part of the world ranging from humans to supernatural. Sure, there is a lot of information, and sometimes he isn't able to gain information, like how the other gods want him to become a god and part of their faction. But thankfully Isis was helpfully in that regard. Out of left field how? Rias asked. I am pregnant by Naruto's baby, Akino said with a happy, pleasant smile, and her eyes closed. Naruto, Sona, and Rias looked at Akino, whom was blushing at the thought of having kids. She always wanted a family so she can bring back the Himejima clan back. Thinking of bearing Naruto's babies made her giddy. Rias looked ready to commit murder and hide her friend body. Sona gave Naruto the best cold glare she could muster, hoping Naruto really didn't impregnate Akino before herself. Sona hasn't told her family nor her sister, but she has a huge crush on Naruto. It's the sole reason why she saved herself for him and beat anyone else who wished to marry her. Her body, heart, and soul belongs to him alone. While true there is a massive age difference, it matters not to her. She had a crush on him from a very young age, as he taught them on matters such as magic and alchemy. That crush grew and developed into something more complex and defied all logic. She has fallen hopelessly in love with the Uzumaki. Of course, she didn't realize these feelings till she was 16. Rias and Akino were in the same boat as her in this regards, but they both have different ways of expressing their feelings. Akino, we agreed to share Naruto-kun. And share him the night we would, Sona said coldly, looking towards Akino. Rias nodded at this, not wanting Akino to win Naruto's heart first. They all agree when they were young if they were going to marry Naruto they would need to share him on the first night after the wedding. Naruto's sweat dropped at this statement. So they weren't playing around when they planned to marry me. I don't know how should I feel about this, Naruto thought as he blinked at the young girls he helped raise. Being alive like Naruto has some taboos are not really so troubling to him anymore like they were before. Incest? His own village practiced that, including the Uzumaki clan, so he had no issue with it really. This included close incest relationships, as Naruto witnessed many of those in this world. And their babies came out fine without anything wrong. It is a taboo for sure, yes, but in the end he can't judge because his own clan did such acts. This included several clans such as the Hyuga, Uchiha, Nara, and many others. Older women having a younger guy. Megatas are ageless despite them being young-looking. Ria is 2 times older than him, and he has taken her out on a date before. Though it was as friends, she still counted it as a date as a couple. Plus he is married to 4 biju whom are amazing women, and they are about 1,000 years older than him, give or take. Plus he saw them as sisters before that grow into the love they have now. So he really can't say anything at all. Older male with a young girl? That happens a lot, even humans do it, so it isn't weird unless you're into Lolis. Then that is another issue and can depend on a number of factors. Sometimes girls are just lowly sized despite being fully mature, and some girls are busted beauties despite being young. It solely depends on genetics really. Several things such as taboos do not bother Naruto much anymore. When he was young he would have to decline thinking it was wrong. But now it really does bother him. At certain points love is love, and Naruto had no right to stop these girls from chasing who they liked. Though for him it was still a bit awkward for a number of reasons. It was awkward though since he helped raise them, and it's a bit weird, but he really couldn't stop them. Not if he wanted 2 angry mothers and 3 fathers after his hide for hurting their baby girls' feelings. That also includes Serafal and Serzac themselves, plus did he really have the heart to turn them down and break their hearts? No, he couldn't without feeling like the biggest ass in all of creation for hurt 3 girls he greatly cares for. Face it, Kit, you're fucked, you will just have to marry them, Kurama chimed in before getting whacked on the head by 4 other biju. What did I do to make them feel like this? Naruto wondered in an innocent way. The male biju facepalmed while the 4 biju women giggled at Naruto's innocence. Sometimes Naruto was still clueless about the signs of a woman falling for him. Naruto sighed and took out Eclipse as the silver blade forged from celestial silver hummed softly. The girls slightly tense, feeling the sword's power. Eclipse was a gift to me by the Greek gods Poseidon, Hephaestus, Hades, and finally the Primordial Erebus. It's the only sword ever made with celestial silver, making it one of a kind, as only I can wield this sword, Naruto said fondly as the four of them looked at the sword of light and dark. Looking the blade over Eclipse is a 1.5-handed sword that allows Naruto to freely use it with one hand or another. The celestial silver blade features a heavy blood groove in the middle of the blade. The hilt features solid metal fittings and hardware with an oversized guard and a pommel at the end of the handle. The handle is wrapped in dark midnight blue leather, glimmering from Lord of the Rings. On the guard is ancient powerful runes are etched into the metal. The sword is well made and no doubt was made of the highest quality metals, magic, and runes to make his sword what it is today. While many monsters fell to this sword, it was simple enough to see that sword itself is a masterpiece worthy of great praise. Tell me, girls, could you three fight me with Eclipse in my hand? Naruto asked seriously. The girls, if possible, became even more tense than before, as Eclipse was one of the most deadliest blades in the world. Eclipse, the sword of light and dark, was known and famous for slaying all matters of supernatural beasts, including rouge devils. What makes this sword more dangerous is the fact that when Naruto uses the sword, all magic can be negated and or thrown back at the person who attacked Naruto. Also, it could do a number of small tasks, though the manner one uses it will seem like a major advantage. It was also a sword with a lot of drawbacks. But not drawbacks as a bad thing, but more like this sword has requirements. One must meet those requirements in order to use the blade. One drawback is no one could wield this sword unless they know light and darkness type of magic. Not only that, but the newer user must know how to blend and combine both light and darkness magic, which is near impossible for anyone but Naruto. This is why devils can't use this sword without being burned and angels can't hold this sword without falling from heaven. Sensei, you must know we could die from being cut from that sword, Sona said seriously. Sona knew she couldn't match her childhood crush alone. He was simply out of their league. Maybe with Akino and Rias working together as a team they had a shot, but alone? No, that thought alone is suicide. Yes, you could die from being cut by Eclipse, Naruto admitted. Few devils or every supernatural beings could heal from Eclipse blade. It made these devils, angels, and demigods more mortal than anything else. But it was designed to only harm beings of supernatural status. It could not harm humans, which is why he had Aazel for. But I asked if you could, Naruto said more calmly, placing Eclipse back in its sheath. Mostly likely not. Doubt it. We would not be ready, all three admitted. No wanted to face the sword that slayed so many. Naruto mentally smiled lightly at this but nodded no the less. You girls know it's too dangerous, Naruto said as he put Eclipse back in its sheath, slid into a fighting stance his father used. So you know your limits, that is good. Sometimes in battle the best way to fight someone is to test their weakness, retreat, plan, and fight them again more prepared so you come out the victor, Naruto said, knowing he had used this tactic before on a king and his army. He used some grapeshot bombs, smoke screen, and several uses of the Axii sign to win against an army of men. It was a well-made plan and he knew several factions used this tactic as well. The girls got into a fighting stance as well, expecting a fight, though they are nervous about fighting Naruto. One-sided beating later. You girls have improved, Naruto said cheerfully at the battered forms of Sona, Akino, and Rias, whom just got the shit kicked out of them 6 days till Sunday. They looked like they went through a war zone while Naruto was perfectly clean and not a single speck of dirt on him. You cheated, Rias panted amazed but the one-sided spar the three girls had with Naruto. But she was also fearful and oddly turned on how Naruto not only bet them, but he completely overpowered and dominated them. If turned her on oddly, he was so strong and powerful, and the way he handled her, and made her knees weak, made her horny for release. Great, I am slave to Naruto, and Rias blushed at the naughty thoughts flooding her mind. Sona and Akino were in the same spot as they were completely thrown off at how fast and quick Naruto was able to counter all their attacks and break their defenses. It just showed the giant gap that is between them and Naruto in terms of experience, skill, and overall power. They could rightfully see why Naruto was named Fifth Mao and one of the strongest existence, but their reactions did differ. Akino was panting and releasing hormones that are shouting out she wanted to be pounded by Naruto into the floor. Sona was more calm of the three but was slightly turned on when she felt his abs on her hands. I played fair, actuality. If I would have cheated, none of you would have gotten the chance to attack me. Rias, you need to work on your psychical strength and speed. You may have the physiology of a devil, but it does you no good if you don't use it. That goes for all of you. You all attack me more with spells and magic than really coming after me, thus leaving me time to come up with a plan and best you three. Sona and Rias, your older sibling, wouldn't have attacked me with magic first but instead charge at me head on to test what they are dealing with. Often at times you need to switch up your styles and fight your opponent a different way. Though who knows how long it took to beat that into both Serzac and Serafal. Naruto mumbled/ranted about the two Mao. Naruto remembered he had to beat and shake down what those four learned so they wouldn't die in the civil war they waged with the old Satan faction. One war he took part in and showed many people that he wasn't some hunter that killed monsters for a living. He fought in a war he had no business in and helped the side that was a better choice. Sona sat up though with some trouble and looked at her love interest in the eye. Where should we start, Naruto-sama? Sona asked, hoping to get some sense of where she needs to train. Rias and Akino nodded in agreement. Don't worry about it. I will train you three along with your peerage. But for now get some rest and wait for my summon, Naruto said. Naruto then tapped on the ground twice and the girls disappeared into a dark void that took them back to the ORC to get in better condition. Naruto span on his heel and disappeared in a burst of speed to his home. He had a day with his nephew and little brother after all. Next day, with Naruto. Naruto is calmly walking toward Luckfear's castle that is located in Lilith, which is the capital of the underworld for devils. He heard whispers and chatter all around as he walked towards the castle his little brother stayed in. It seems his legend was still around to this day in the underworld. How he came onto the battlefield slaying the old Satan faction devils left and right with grace and speed to match. Naruto calmly walked past the guards whom stiffen in his presence as his aura has only gotten stronger last time they saw him. Naruto nodded towards a maid whom bowed and greeted him with great respect. The blush and slight stutter of her words were cute. Greeting Uzumaki-sama. How may I help you today? The bowing maid said. I need to find Serzac. Is he still in bed or in his office? Naruto asked softly. In his office working on calling a peace signing between the devils and Greeks, the maid rising back up. Trying and failing to hide her blush. The Greeks haven't talked to Poseidon in a while. I guess I could help, Naruto said before disappearing in a wind shinshan. Naruto appeared to his brother's left side hidden by the shadows of the room. He could hear Zeus talking about impossible demands that he would like for the peace treaty. They are currently using an iris message similar to how Percy, Annabeth, and Grover talked to that one horseman. Chiron was his name. Naruto looked at his brother whom to his right sits Serafal the Mao whom handles foreign affairs, close enough for her title right? Percy, Annabeth, and Grover were sitting with Chiron were playing chess. More so Grover and Chiron than Anna and Percy. Ares was staring off into space, most likely in Lala, dreaming of fighting someone strong. Though the god of war has calmed down a lot since marrying someone who isn't Aphrodite. In speaking of the love goddess, she was fixing her nails with a bored look. Hades and Poseidon were simply trying not to sleep as they were forced to hear their little brother argue with Serzac about the treaty and what deals will be made. Apollo and Hermes are playing cards while Artemis is trying not to go off and do whatever she does. Hestia and Hera were talking about him, Naruto, since he was able to read their lips, and raised an eyebrow at the part they are jealous of Rhea getting a date with him. Really? All they have to do is ask for one. I am not that impossible of a date, Naruto thought with a raised eyebrow. If only the women or woman knew that Rhea just straight up asked him out on a date, then maybe they wouldn't try to impress him. He had 4 wives already and they didn't mind him having more. Naruto continued to watch some things unfold. Last time I checked, several of the gods and goddess of the pathogen had found true lovers after Zeus voided Aphrodite, the marriage between her and the smith god. Hades made a human female who birthed his last 2 kids his immortal partner for life. And the spring goddess was allowed to leave the underworld. It seems a lot of things are going for the better, but Zeus needs Hera by his side or he will fade, as she is stronger than him now. Naruto tapped his chin in thought. Naruto turned to Serzac, calmly declining Zeus's offers that the god likes in favor of offering one that would suit both factions. The arguing went for about 10 more minutes before Naruto got annoyed enough that would cause cold, deadly shivers to travel down Serafal and Serzac's spine. Naruto's eye twitched. Soon warm, loving, kind, and gentle amethyst crystal eyes that lack a pupil turned. Now Naruto's eye color is dark crimson blood red with black cat-like slits for pupils. His whisker marks slight widen and darken, his nails slight grown into claws, and his hair became a paler gold color. Everyone including Zeus stopped moving and breathing as soon as they felt an dark hungry aura enter their senses. Poseidon and Hades woke up faster than their wives, chasing them with a frying pan. Percy's heart started pumping like he ran a marathon. Annabeth felt her skin get cold, and her breath become visible. Chiron felt on edge and completely weak without any weapons. Athena felt like she has been in a war, and she is losing as an ever-ending army is coming her way. Hera felt naked and exposed, completely at the mercy of this person's aura. Apollo and Hermes held each other like some horror monster came to devour them. Serzac knew this aura by heart, as it only belonged to one person. Hello Zeus, Serzac, Serafal, Hera, Poseidon, Hades, and everyone. A demonic cold voice sounded. They all turned to see their brother/crush/friend/ally/rival/ and mentor Naruto Uzumaki, the strongest damper. They also saw his dark crimson blood-red eyes. They all gulped in slight fear, since Naruto hardly lets his vampire side out. Not even slip of it comes out unless he was about to massacre someone. The last time Serzac ever saw a glimpse of this side was when Naruto was teaching him about the Witcher science. Needless to say, Serzac rather do paperwork than face an angry Naruto. I hope I am not intruding in anything important. I just wish to see how the affairs of my little brother's work is going. And here I am listening to a child fight while someone twice as young as him acts like an adult, Naruto said, glaring at Zeus, causing the king of the gods to shrink in fear. Zeus had tried to put Naruto in his place, but all he met was a hungry, bloodthirsty damper whom hasn't fed on blood in a long time. Zeus can clearly still feel the bruises and cuts Naruto left on his body that day. While Zeus thought originally he could knock down Naruto from going out on a date with his mother Rhea and seeing Hestia and Hera, he was disappointed and surprised when the damper not only counter-ever attack he had, but also damaged him with lightning. It made him the laughing stock of Olympias. So, what shall I ever do? Naruto said in a dark tone of voice, his crimson-red orbs glowing. His features died down, returning to normal. Warm, loving amethyst eyes and golden skin kiss hair. Naruto grinned as he saw the disbelieving looks of those in the meeting room. The smirk only grew as everyone paled at the fact the one mean they feared / respected / admired / and cared for had unleashed a bit of his power. Well. What about the meeting? I thought you all wanted to be buddies and help each other out. Naruto said, his fanged grin showing. Poseidon, Hades, and some other male gods try and make themselves small as possible. While they are friends with the damper, it wasn't always that way. When Naruto first met the Greek god / goddess, he beat the shit out of all their demigods / demigoddess for being too arrogant. They remember the time he beat the shit out of them for something they did. While they were on good terms with Naruto, he did not approve of many things they did, including what they did in the past, as Naruto pointed out he extremely dislikes about them. Poseidon and Hades were the first two to experience this, as Naruto had not only pointed out their flaws but he did help with their current improvements. And while most if not all the Greek gods tried to change, they knew the damage they did is done, and now they are forced to live with their mistakes. This went for every faction whom knew Naruto. Only a few had the right to say they aren't guilty of something. The devils, angels, and fallen angels are part of this improvement process as well. Zeus, on the other hand, was delusional and didn't care, but he was smart enough not to anger Naruto, which kept him alive. If Naruto was going to eat or devour anyone, it would be Zeus on his list to consume. Though Naruto would gain all of Zeus's powers and etc. like always, Naruto would need to weaken, take away his powers, and then need him to be completely sure that the man never reforms like his father. Naruto, however, is also the one whom taught Percy how to use a sword and magic. He taught Annabeth how to use combination weapons. And he taught Grover how to use nature magic and use certain spells. The fact he went toe-to-toe with the former Titan King, and one shows how strong Naruto is. Naruto's skills and power is the total worth of hundreds and not at least 1,000 years worth of training. Aniki, this is a surprise, Serzac said, smiling at his brother. Serzac didn't expect to see Naruto for another hour since the man was stuck in a meeting. Naruto smiled at his apprentice / little brother, glad to see him in a good bill of health. Aoturo, how are you doing? Training hard, I hope, Naruto said as the two grown men given each other a loving family hug. Hi, when I can. Still working on my own sword play and developing some more spells, but other than that I am well, Serzac smirked as they broke the hug. Naruto-chan, Serafal yelled, trying to tackle Naruto, whom simply sidestepped the childish Mao. Naruto smiled, amused by her effort to catch him off guard. Nice try, Serafal-chan. But you will have to do better than that, my cute little student. Naruto mimicked his sensei Kakashi. Serafal stuck her tongue out at him, though she went back to her seat. She secretly eyed Naruto, as she too is one of few that truly loved Naruto instead of lusting after him. Serafal fell for Naruto after the war, but that is a story for another time. Ahem, Poseidon didn't want to break up the reunion of the students and mentor. But seeing Naruto again breaks a smile to the sea god's face. Yo, Poseidon. Been a while, how are the wife and kids? Naruto smirked at the sea god, whom smiled in kind. Very well, Naruto. I have to thank you for training Percy. Without you I was afraid we would have lost to Kronos, Poseidon said, making Artemis and Athena shift uncomfortable at the mention of the old deceased Titan. They were also uncomfortable at the fact the very man they tried so hard to best / curse / or hate was the very man whom saved them from death. Artemis more so than Athena, as the goddess of hunt, was sorely reminded how her hunters, or is it huntress since they're all female, and herself lost to the damper. Not only that, Naruto saved her from the giants, and sent them on a one-way trip never to return. Athena lost a chess match against Naruto, and has not outsmarted him, beat him, or outwitted him. And she hates losing. Ares smirked at the only male he highly respected, as Naruto understood his violent nature and thrill for a strong battle. Naruto has been Ares' rival since the god of war improvement. Hi, Sensei, Percy said with a wave, whom Annabeth waved too. Naruto smirked with an evil glint to his eye, which made the two shiver remembering that glint. Good to see you two finally together. Looks like I won another bet, Athena, Naruto said with a smirk. Several gods, devil's goddess looked towards the goddess of wisdom, whom only huffed with a pink stain to her cheeks. Damning the fact Naruto has better luck than a damn devil. Which in this moment is ironic. Well, I love to stay and chat, but me and Serzac have plans. Hera, you have my full permission to override Zeus in this matter, as you know he only has so much power now. Simply outvote him. Hades, I want you to visit me at least, man. I will make your favorite, Naruto said with a small smile. Hera's eyes widened as she forgotten that little fact. This meeting could have been over with. Hera mentally screamed in rage. Hades drooled at the thought of tasting Naruto's cooking and being invited to the man's home. Oh, I plan to rub this all over everyone's face for the next 3 weeks, Hades thought, as Naruto's cooking tasted better than some dishes Ria and Hestia made. Though it did take Naruto a long time to best the likes of Ria and Hestia in the kitchen. Gladly, my friend. See you soon, Hades said with a happy smile, which made several gods, goddess, devils do a double take. Seeing such a happy smile on the god of the underworld face is really rare. Hades normally has a blank face or a scowl. Hardly do the Greeks see a happy smile coming from Hades. Well, they hardly visit the underworld as it is. Sometime later, Naruto chuckled as Serzac shakes his head. Aniki, I know you knew the Greeks, but did you have to promise cooking for Hades and Rhea? I know you're close to some Greeks, Serzac said, remembering that this man had seen the world several times over and helped many people, including the biblical faction whom Michael is their leader. You know I like Hades more, along with Hestia, Rhea, and Poseidon. They aren't bad once you get to know them, Naruto said with a shrug, walking down a road with his little brother figure. Yes, I remember when you first heard about the peerage system, Serzac said with a nervous chuckle, remembering how his older brother figure acted. Naruto doesn't dislike or like the peerage system. Well, that would be somewhat of a lie. Naruto at first didn't like the idea of servants, so to speak. But as time passed, Naruto understood the system better. After Ajuka explained how the peerage system worked, Naruto accepted the peerage system a bit better. While the thought of having servants was an interesting view, Naruto knew some devils were crueler. And some devils like Serzac, Ajuka, Rias, Sona, and few others treated their servants like family or close friends. It solely depends on the family, really, or what's left of the 72 pillars. I still find it odd why a little bird told me about the whole fifth mouth thing, Naruto said while looking at his brother at the corner of his eye. Serzac flinched, remembering what had transpired to make Naruto a fifth Mao. Though Naruto is neutral to every faction if a battle breaks out, he will remain their ally, but he wants no part in any of their politics or battles with other factions. He was a witcher, and witchers aren't really supposed to be involved with political figures/drama. Simply do the job, get paid, and carry on as or was the thing they were taught. Sorry, Nisama, Serzac said. Well, no matter. I am sure you had very good reasons. After all, the council held most of the power in the beginning or your term as the new Lucifer, Naruto said with a shrug. He trusted his little brother's judgment. Serzac sighed in relief, afraid he would have to spar with Naruto again as punishment. While powerful, Serzac was not the big badass older sibling. Naruto filled out that role and did so with style. Thanks, Aniki, Serzac smiled, glad Naruto is forgiving. But I will still punish you, Naruto said with a quick retort, making the super devil next to him cry anime tears. Why, Nisama is mean to me, Serzac whined childishly. Naruto rolled his eyes and threw his arm over Serzac's shoulder. Relax. I don't care for being the fifth Mao. I understand the reason why too, even though I disagree with what happened. So let's have a break from the politics and have fun. This is little Milikass school. Naruto looked at a fancy school in the underworld. Most heirs like Milikass are homeschooled. But Serzac wanted his son to make friends with the devils not born within the 72 pillars. Serzac wanted all devils to be close, be it they are pure-blooded or not. Besides, with his head made, Grafia gone for shopping as it's her one day off. Serzac took advantage of this fact and was planning to skip work. In all honesty, Serzac just wanted to be free of blasted paperwork. That part of his job is more of a devil than he is. Hi, this is a school I had built to allow newer, younger devils understand their powers and have them fit better into this world. The grading systems works on how performs and what you're best with. So if you're good at farming, you will be charged with growing crops and such. Fairly simple, if I might add, Serzac said, thinking of the system he made for the schools within the underworld. Everyone had a part in devildom. Serzac made sure to bring out the full potential of each devil without really direct involvement. Very nice, little brother. Come, my nephew awaits, Naruto said with a wide, happy smile. Serzac chuckled as the two legends of the Devil Kingdom walked into the school, leaving on looking in awe at the two strongest warriors from the Civil Devil War. Lot of younglings, Naruto mumbled. Sorry, Aniki, but we're both legends in the younger eyes. You with your vampire heritage and me with my devil's blood. Though I think some people took our friendship too far, Serzac said with a suppressed shiver. Yaoi? Hi, Serzac said, remembering some of the disturbing things he had read or heard about. While it sounds like a fangirl's wet dream, it was a mental scar for the Crimson Mao. Not the weirdest or worst thing they had me paired with, Naruto admitted, making Serzac's eyes widen and look at his brother. What do you mean by that? Serzac asked his brother. When you lived as long as I have, you've seen a lot of things you wished never existed. You see things that stay with you for your immortal life. And some things you have seen but are unable to unseen as they are forever burned within you, my Naruto said in a defeated deadpan tone. Serzac only seen part of this crazy insane world had to offer. Clearly the man never had to deal with ugly puss-filled women like Geralt, and he did. And the damn rates were annoying as fuck when traveled in packs. And don't even get Naruto started on how many times he had to deal with female werewolves. Especially when they were in damn heat. And the worst part is that his uncle, and rightfully the young brother to his father, is the first Lycan werewolf, and his daughter and a transcendent werbeast. A werewolf that ascended to god/goddess power and status. Cammy, that woman Luna drove Naruto crazy. I sometimes don't want to live anymore. The people that live in this world are either crazy or scary, Naruto thought, suppressed a shiver remembering Luna. I don't want to know, Serzac said with a deadpan. Naruto nodded as they made their way through the school's halls silently. Serzac had his mind on what to do with his son when he thought of Naruto's parents, and wondered what they were like. With Hades, the Greek god of death and the underworld, was in a bit of a pickle. Ever since Naruto invited him to his home, his mother Rhea and his sister Hestia had been pestering him ever since the meeting was over. It didn't help that Hera was in on this. Mother, I sure if you call Naruto he will let you over, Hades said calmly. Hades knew about the date between his mother and Naruto, and secretly he helped keep other gods/goddess from interfering with their date. He wanted to see his mother happy and joyful as any loving son would. Poseidon supported the idea of Naruto seeing his mother. Hell, both brothers already had stepfather jokes ready and waiting. But the Shintos wouldn't let us enter their territory. Rhea pouted almost too cutely as tears formed at the corner of her eyes. Hades opened his mouth and shut it closed. Sure, he could call the Shinigami for a favor and let them pass. But since Naruto is in the Shinto territory, he is hard to reach. The only members of other factions allowed to enter the Shinto grounds are the ones whom have alliances with the Shintos themselves. The Greeks not being one of their allies, as a whole in the least. Sure, Shinigami and Hades were friends, but the rest of the Shintos didn't trust him or his family of misfits, though most factions like the Shintos had good reason to not trust the Greeks. Their records are rather spotty at best. His foolish little brother Zeus not helping in the matter, as he wanted to be king to all the pantheons. Hades and Poseidon being the least under fire about this, as they sided with Naruto many times, knowing that the damper had greater potential in him. Hades knew that the boy he saw as his best friend could ascend to godhood with one more push. I need to make a call, Hades said. Call who? Hestia asked in a curious tone as her gentle kind voice spoke out. I'll call Shinigami to see if Kami or Yami will allow us to enter with good intent. I do not want to cause trouble for another faction like the Norse or Shinto. We already have enough trouble because of that idiot Zeus. By us, why we didn't replace him I will never know, Hades said as he walked away, intent on calling a fellow death god. Behind them, Hera chewed her lip. As queen of the Greek gods, she wasn't allowed to enter another pantheon area unless it's in wartime. This is one reason she wanted Naruto to stay in territory they can control, so she could freely visit him whenever she wished. She was a goddess of marriage and loyalty for chaos and order's sake. She is sick and tired of Zeus running around and screwing women. She wanted Naruto to put it bluntly. He was twice as loyal and kind than Zeus ever was, with Naruto and Serzac. I think we broke them, Aniki, Serzac said as he looked at his Sochi's class, as every young devil looked at the two legends with wide eyes and open mouths. Even the teacher was slack-jawed at the fact Lucifer-sama and Uzumaki-sama was in her class. Hisun was even more surprised as little Milikass enjoyed the stories of the damper and his father battling the twisted old devils. Indeed, Naruto said with an amused smirk. He enjoyed doing this somewhat on a nostalgic view. Seeing the little kid's eyes filled with awe, joy, or wonder always made the elder damper feel happy or content. It also reminded him of when he looked up to the Kages back at home, and wanting to surpass them in every way he could. And now he stands in the eyes of younger generations as a hero or a legend. Something about having people look up to you filled Naruto's heart with joy, but also given him a sense of burden and responsibility. Future generations depend on people like Serzac and Naruto to carry the torch, so to speak, till they themselves can carry the flame and light the way. Naruto promised himself when all this was over and done he was going to go home to the elemental nations and settle down. Now, being as old as he is simply content teaching and guiding the future generations. Kage or not, Naruto was satisfied with his life. Do you think we should just take my nephew and run? Naruto whispered, leaving Serzac to chuckle. Hi Milikass Sochi, hi Otasama? The little crimson-haired boy answered, snapping out of his trance. I would like you to meet you, uncle, and the man I see as my older brother, Naruto Uzumaki. Serzac gestured towards Naruto. Naruto just given the boy a wide-fanged grin and wave. Milikass' eyes widened at his favorite hero from the Devil's Civil War. Soon the little kids huddled around the two legends, leaving them to smile kindly. Truly this one of the best feeling a male or woman can feel. To be admired or awed by kids in their innocent ways. It was adorable and a reminder of why they work so hard. Naruto and Serzac chuckled as they answered a question, suggested an area of study, and encouraged these kids to thrive for better and never give up. Also, Serzac passed on his little belief that was an alternate version of the will of fire. Protect those you love with the devil within. Caused to Serzac's view. A devil with a heart was a very dangerous being to cross. After leaving the class, so little Milikass, tell me, what do you plan to do when you grow up? Naruto asked, carrying the boy on his shoulders. Milikass smiled brightly like an innocent child having the best day of his life. Serzac couldn't help but feel happiness seeing his son so happy. I want to be like Otasama and Aji-sama, Milikass said in a really happy, joyful voice. Milikass was having the best day of his life. Not only was he getting to spend time with his daddy, but he is getting to spend time with his favorite hero and rightfully his uncle. Oh? You want to be a witcher and a Mao? That is a high goal, little one, Naruto said, amused. Serzac only rolled his eyes at this fact, seeing his Sochi, son, would always train in the signs witchers use. He wouldn't learn anything else till he mastered the basics of each sign and how correctly use a steel sword and a silver sword. Milikass has been dead set on this since he could walk and talk. Hearing the stories about his father and the last witcher fueled the little devil boy with a goal and a dream. Yeah. Otasama taught me the signs, but I am having trouble with art, Milikass said with an embarrassed blush. It wasn't the fact the signs were hard to learn or he was having trouble casting them. It's just that no one but Serzac, Naruto, and Michael could use them to their full potential. The fact that Michael and Serzac learned these simple spells from Naruto himself shows how dead the Witcher arts are. Serzac and Michael also wouldn't teach anyone else for the sole fact they haven't found anyone that can use the knowledge, skills, and styles of a Witcher, and while Michael and Serzac do have their own styles that their kind uses, the Witcher arts can be used for all matter of species including humans. This allows the Mao and Seraph to deal with a wide range of races without going all out and unleashing spells including all their power. In a more simple way, Naruto helped refine their styles and improve their overall skill. Naruto and smirk at this with a small twinkle in his eye. Once Serzac caught and felt a knot of dread in his stomach. Serzac knew that gleam in his brother's eye far too well. It was the same gleam he got when they first met, and when Serzac first asked Naruto to teach him how to use a sword. Those so-called training sessions were utter hell, Serzac thought with a mental whine. Okay, so how about this? I'll train you how to use the science correctly if you come over and train under me in the Witcher arts, Naruto offered the boy, making him gasp at the chance learning under the same man whom taught his daddy. Milikass looked at his father with the cutest puppy-eyed dog look, making the legendary Mao submit to his son with a defeated sigh. There was no struggle or battle of wills when Milikass used his puppy eyes on his dad. Serzac would always cave in. Fine, you can train under Naruto and I, but only if you keep up your studies and pay attention, Serzac said, trying to be a strict father with his son. It was nearly impossible. Milikass is Serzac's little baby boy and loves him unconditionally. Why the little boy cheered happy he gets to train under his uncle. Impressive, little Milikass. Where did you learn that? Naruto was curious where he learned to break his father's will in such a way. From the cute girls I play with, Milikass said in an innocent, happy tone. His father Serzac, however, paled at the thought of his little boy dating a girl, or even kissing one. He was about to go into his overprotective dad mode but stopped when his brother spoke. Alright, now you two. Let's go have some fun, okay? Naruto said as the three enjoyed their day together, laughing, eating, and talking. Milikass was taken home early by his father to let the boy pack his clothes and or anything he deems important. Naruto's home. Naruto yawned as he was relaxing on his couch waiting for Hades or little Milikass to come over. He had just prepared a room next to his for Milikass to sleep, study, and practice his magic in. With the training room fixed below the house, all he needed to do is get Milikass into shape by training his body, mind, and soul. Which for someone as young as Milikass should be a long and challenging trial. At least from what he learned, the boy had his mother's brains and his father's power. Wearing simple black jeans and a black thermal shirt, Naruto is watching TV while the food for dinner cooled off. Naruto heard someone walking to his door at a slow pace. Getting up, Naruto opened the door before the person could knock. Naruto raised an eyebrow at the fact Hades was not alone. Instead, he had Ria and Hestia with him as well. Well, this is a surprise. Ria and Hestia, lovely as ever. But why the sudden visit? Naruto asked with his arms crossed. Naruto felt a build-up of demonic magical energy in his house behind him. Glancing back, he saw the little crimson-red head by known as Milikass. Smiling at the boy, Naruto pointed to the couch, which the child took as a sit-there gesture. Milikass easily followed as Naruto made a clone go grab a book from his study. The boy looked at the boy in curiosity, and opened the first page only to start reading right then and there. Naruto smirked as Milikass already had a lot of potential. Naruto knew there was something special about the child, but time will reveal what is so special about the boy. Hestia and Ria were confused to what Naruto smiled at. Hades, whom was behind the two, had sour look on his face, clearly upset over something. Why does Hades look like someone shoved a very unripe lime into his mouth? Naruto raised an eyebrow while trying not to gag at what Siri did to him that one time. Geralt and Yen were not useful at all at that point in time. And nothing, Naruto-kun, may we come in? Ria, the beautiful female Titan, blushed seeing Naruto again. Hestia beamed at finally able to meet Naruto after so long. Naruto blinked and nodded as the two Greek deities and Titan came into his home. Hestia blinked at the young boy with crimson hair reading one of Naruto's books. Now, it wasn't uncommon for Naruto to help kids. But what strikes her is the devil's aura she felt from the boy. She looked at Naruto, whom seems to be watching the boy by glances, with a small smirk on his face. Next day, Sunday. Let it come to you, Milikass-kun. Don't force the energy or try to control it. Control comes later, for now we are trying to summon your magic. Let it flow through you like a river and guide it throughout your body, Naruto coached as he watched his nephew's sighting in his Zen garden in the back of his home. Milikass was trying to unlock all his magical energy by tapping into his soul, which to some, a devil having a soul seems impossible. But in Naruto's long life experience, everything including devils and angels had souls. Due to his limited connection to the pure world, Naruto could sense the life force and souls of other living things. That whole folklore about vampires, demons, and devils not having souls is complete bullshit. But again, each reality had its own set of rules and laws. But it was quite amusing seeing those church members freak out about a devil having a soul. Kami, he loved messing with the church. Though Michael, Gabriel, and Uriel normally ruined his fun, though thankfully chakra isn't like magical power. Yes, it can go dangerously low, but it won't kill you like using all your chakra. At the worst, you will slip into a coma and wake up till your reserves are filled back up. If you ran out of chakra, however, that was it. Even for Naruto there is no coming back, no second chances, no passing out, no simple coma. You used up all your chakra, you will die. Kinda made Naruto glad little Milikass doesn't have a chakra system like he does. Though Naruto could very well give anyone a chakra system and start them off with a genin level supply of chakra. The rest would be up to them. Milikass was sweating as he only wore cargo shorts Naruto had given him to wear for this training. The body was already soaked in his own sweat and water as he panted. "Hi, Mentor," Milikass said with all seriousness a 10-year-old boy could muster up. Naruto lightly smiled seeing Milikass having some trouble. It kinda reminded him of when tried to unlock his own chakra. But when Naruto did finally unlock his chakra, he caused the area around him to explode at the sudden release and the continuing release of chakra. It was one thing no one could have bested him on at such a young age. Of course, with his Uzumaki blood he had at least low Kage level reserves at the time, and it only grew as he got older. Hell, his chakra reserves are still growing to this day. And to be honest, Naruto didn't know why they are still growing. Alright, Milikass-kun, that is enough meditation for one day. We will focus now on conditioning your body. Run as many laps as you can, then flying until you get tried. I want to build your stamina for the more complex tasks that come later, Naruto said. Milikass opened his eyes and breathed a sigh of relief. He wasn't used to sitting in one place for so long. He was still a kid and loved to play and run around and having adventures around the castle. It just goes to show that training with Naruto is grueling. Naruto went to the kitchen make some lemonade and sandwiches for him and Milikass before they go into any of the serious stuff. Magic, alchemy, runes, and sword play can come later. But first Naruto must drill in certain things for Milikass to grow and learn. One thing he was going to teach Milikass was the art of deception, along with knowing what is the difference between a ghoul and Aazel. Knowing what type of being it is an important part of a witcher's job. A cursed one is much more different than a turned one or a natural one. It's kinda like you're trying to compare two plants that look the same. One plant could benefit you and the other could kill you. A good example is to follow is the common mushroom. Mushrooms are incredibly vast in their classifications and variations, and as such, should be paid special attention to. If you are looking at potentially eating mushrooms in a wilderness scenario without extensive identification experience, then you are waging a risk that cannot possibly be countered. For all the varieties of mushrooms, there are just as many horror stories associated with basic misclassifications leading to death or bad sickness. The all-encompassing little brown mushroom probably accounts for more issues to a mushroom seeker than any other mushroom class. Unfortunately, with a vast majority of the little brown mushroom varieties, there are several which are deadly or dangerous amongst an ocean of safe ones. They are very difficult to identify, especially in the field. It's a hard thing to ask a mushroom lover to do, but in the field, it's better to avoid these mushrooms when selecting what to consume, as it is just too risky to eat something you cannot be sure of. These and many other edible plants and mushrooms are mimicked by poisonous plants. It cannot be said enough that food in a survival situation is a secondary concern, and that avoidance of danger is a primary one. Do not eat plants which cannot be identified with complete accuracy at all times. When in a survival situation and in need of food for energy, it's better to stick with what you know. Plus the fact Naruto had more to teach Milikass knowledge base than sword or magic base. But it will help the boy in the long run. Teaching him even the smallest details mean a great deal also goes into Naruto being a shinobi. And in Naruto's life, even the smallest detail meant life or death. But he supposed that was a lesson for another time. Going out to the Zen garden, Naruto placed some snacks for the two of them since Naruto himself has been training in gravity manipulation and his telekinetic powers. He worked up a pretty decent sweat and is now drinking lemonade. Mentor? Milikass says as he runs up to Naruto. Naruto smiles as he pets Milikass on the head, making the young boy pout in a cute way. Yes, little one? Naruto says kindly. Why don't you drink blood? You're a damper, right? Milikass said, pointing out innocently he should be drinking blood. Hi, I am, but last time I drank blood was the day I found out I was a damper, Naruto said honestly, remembering quite vividly how he drained Kaguya of her life essence, and it empowered him greatly, healing all his wounds as if they never happened. Even the scar Sasuke left him when a Chidori went, though his chest disappeared and replaced by smooth skin. What was it like? Milikass said in an excited tone. Curious to what his hero thinks about discovering his status. I guess best why I can say it was instinct. I didn't know till I killed that woman whom was my first ever meal, you can say. After I stopped I felt powerful, strong, and unstoppable. I felt like I could have soared across the sky. But I was in the middle of a war, so I hid it away, Naruto said, remembering he freaked out that the taste of blood for him either tasted like chocolate, vanilla, or even raspberry. Though he only sealed Kaguya away if he remembers correctly. That or his memory went back again like it did on that one hunt. But as for the blood tasting like different flavors, the flavor depended on the diet of the person, so there was that. It was really weird that Kaguya tasted like a carrot. Were you angry? I mean, I read about the other powerful dampiers in the world and all of them hate the vampires. Why don't you? Milikass said as he got a curious twinkle in his eyes. That little glimmer reminded Naruto of someone. But he long forgotten whom. Well, I already know my father whom was the vampire and my mother whom was the human. They already loved me deeply despite I never met them. But I don't hate them for something they didn't do. I don't think it should be a crime bring life into this world regardless of what flows through that person's veins, Naruto said honestly. Milikass looks curious yet confused, trying to understand the words Naruto spoke. So Naruto decided to explain a bit. Most that oftentimes a damper is born between a woman vampire or a male vampire with a human counterpart. These unions, while rare, are often or not a happy one. Most of them are a violent meeting. Rare cases like me and Hunter D are one example of a happy union between both. I traveled the world, as you know, and seen many beings hate each other based on race or some other dumb reason. Take example a half-breed like me. Most if not all pure bloods hate me. Not because I am more powerful but because I am a half-breed, an abomination in their eyes, Naruto said, explaining a bit, only to pause to catch his breath. As such we are hunted down if we didn't die during birth. To put it simply, little one, they hate me just for existing, Naruto said soft, seeing little Milikass upset of why people would hate Naruto, whom is his biggest hero next to his dad. Naruto smiled softly and patted Milikass' head. Now, don't be upset or cry. I will be fine. I have a lot of friends around the world that will help me if I ever need any help. Naruto said, trying to cheer up the boy, whom nodded with a small smile. Who was your daddy mentor? Milikass asked with a wondering tone. Naruto blinked and smiled at the child for a moment. Well, it's not like it can be hidden forever, Naruto thought with a smile. Okay, I will give you my dad's name, but it has to be a super big secret only you and I know, Naruto said in a playful tone, making the boy's smile grow. Inside Naruto's mindscape, the biju smirked as Naruto played with the kid, though unsure if a child should be allowed such knowledge. But it was Naruto's choice, and they will respect his decision. Yada! I promise not to tell anyone, Milikass said cheerfully and a bright smile. Naruto chuckled as he leaned in and whispered in Milikass' ear. My father is Alucard Darkle, the king of all vampires, Naruto said softly as Milikass' eyes widened in awe at the legendary vampire's name. Naruto leaned back with a soft smile, looking at little Milikass' face, which is etched in awe. Alucard Darkle, from what he understood, was once an immortal human being thanks to his family's lineage. But due to an unknown event, Alucard became a vampire, a very powerful and dangerous one. Believed to be so powerful he could summon storms of lightning and freeze oceans with a single snap of his fingers. He was also famous being able to cut a mountain in half and many other feats of godlike powers that just continued to grow. His brother, and rightfully the first Leakin, has also the same abilities, but his skin was said to be hard as diamond and could split a country in two with a clap of his hands. But after the final event of the Great War, the legend of a vampire vanished without a trace. No one knew what happened to the legend. Devils had seen the vampire king as a hero, as the man alone drawn the attention of not just the biblical faction but every other divine entity. And Alucard stood his ground and faced each and every god or goddess that threatened his land or people. He first beat the Greeks, then the Norse, Shinto, Egyptians, and several other pantheons. No one knew the full extent of Alucard's power, but he was feared for his strength and speed, so greatly so that other vampires and their race was hunted down with extreme prejudices, out of fear that they too may gain the power much similar like their king. My full name is Naruto Uzumaki Darkle, Prince of Vampires and the Nidame Rikudo Senin, Naruto said with a pleasant smile. Whoa, mentor! You're really the Prince of Vampires? Milikass said in awe and childlike wonder. A cute innocent action, Naruto found it. Naruto however nodded as Milikass cheered at meeting the son of his third favorite hero. It was the best moment of his young life. Now calm down, remember you can't tell anyone, Naruto said with a smile and playful mirth. Naruto was only met with an excited nod and a happy child as Milikass ran around. Naruto smiled and laughed lightly as Milikass shouted about how he will work harder to surpass his mentor and father. Now Milikass, I want you to clean up here and go get some rest. I will cook lunch soon. After then we will practice the studies of magic, Naruto said, as he heard his cell phone ring. Walking over to it, Naruto answered. Hello, this is Naruto speaking. How may I help you? Naruto asked, very formal manner. Damn that vampire princess for those strict lessons. Naruto, it's me, Hunter said as the tall damper spoke on the other line. Vampire Hunter D. But for name's sake he will be named Hunter Deemer. Oh hey Hunter, what's up? Naruto asked, sitting back down. Blade, rain, and I found a clue to Frost. He is in the eastern part of the world. But country is unknown, Hunter said as his sharp eyes scanned files from his location. Ember ashes next to him shift as the vampire body was turned to ash by his fire spell. Alright. I am in Japan right now. I will call if anything comes up, Naruto said as he hanged up. My identity will be revealed soon. Whether I like it or not, I'd better prepare in case I am betrayed by anyone or hunted down, Naruto thought as he looked at Milikass with concern and compassion. While he made many friends, many more hated his father and would simply kill him out of spite. Some of them are even his own allies and friends. Their hatred knows no bounds, and Naruto knew they would come after him. I will have to send Milikass back to his dad for a while. It will be too dangerous for him to stay with me when I am found to be Dracula's heir, Naruto thought. Sighing, Naruto rubbed the back of his head before heading to the task that needs to be done. It was going to be a long fight ahead. Naruto Uzumaki, The prince of all vampires and rightfully the husband to 4 biju, is staring at his ceiling with tried worn-out eyes. It's been 5 days since he started training Milikass in the Witcher arts. 1 day ago since his body started to go through the painful process of ascending to a Transcendent vampire. As a Transcendent vampire, Naruto will have massive powers just like any god. But the process without the biju in his body has become painful. To make matters worse, Naruto's chakra is leaking out of his own body in potent thick amounts. If he wasn't in his house and called Sona to explain he will be working on a contract, then he would be in serious trouble. Lucky for him, little Milikass understood enough about what's happening to him, and didn't tell his father nor his grandparents about this. Naruto though didn't tell Milikass, oh yeah, I am becoming a vampire god and chakra god, so yeah, be careful when entering my room. Naruto would explain it all to the boy later. He just wanted to sleep for now. He felt like he was being crushed, sickened, and beaten. Yet at the same time he felt amazing, powerful, and fulfilled. Truly this sucks. I wonder if this is what Kaguya felt like after she ate the Shinju fruit, Naruto thought in wonder, as he panted in a semi-rapid fashion. As first he thought simply removing the biju would either kill him, or stall the process of him becoming a Transcendent vampire, but in reality it did nothing but hasten the process, and make his powers all that more potent. This is why he is in a sickened state that he is now. This state was also fusing his Uzumaki genetics, and both refining and improving both his Darkle and Uzumaki blood and DNA, making them that much better and stronger. He had to dodge several kunai every time a pulse went out of his body. Lucky he had enough control over all his powers until he was finished ascending, so to speak. Knock knock knock. Yes, Milikass-kun? Naruto said in a hoarse voice. He sat up. His sheets grip his sweaty skin. Mentor, are you sure you don't want to have me call daddy? The innocent child said. Naruto noticed his once golden sun-kissed hair is now a vibrant silver. This caused him to frown slightly. He knew he could change his hair color at will, but his true form, so to speak, always has vibrant silver hair. It seems during this process he would be in his true form. Snapping his attention back to Milikass, Naruto answered the boy. No, Milikass-kun, that isn't needed. I am just going though a change. But can you please bring me that blood bag stash I showed you? Hi, Mentor, Milikass said with all his seriousness he can muster. He wanted to be helpful to his uncle. Kinda glad that I have a stash of blood bags in case something happened to me. Feeding should either speed up the process of take away the sickness feeling I am getting. If anything, it will help my body regenerate from the lack of biju chakra in my system. Damn, having all 9 placed in their bodies at once was not the brightest idea. But at least it will be a while before they can move around. Thankfully nothing went wrong in the bodies I made them, Naruto thought as he leaned back against his pillows. Naruto closed his eyes and relaxed as he felt everything and heard everything around him. His senses have been out of control. From going to the point Naruto can smell Milikass from his own room and hearing his heart beat before going back to normal. He'd rather not have a repeat incident where he nearly bit Venilana and made love to the MILF. And quite honestly, she wasn't really fighting back. In fact, he could smell and feel her desire and want to be being claimed by him. Which is very odd, as she was married, yet he detected little to love or compassion to Lord Gremory, whom was like an uncle to him. Honestly, Venilana confused him a bit after that event. He chalked it up to him fighting a whole army alone and losing enough blood to make him dizzy. After being healed and sleeping, he felt brand new. Quite literally brand new, which doesn't happen unless he feed, and he never recalled feeding during the whole Devil Civil War. Unless Venilana or Serafal slipped him some of their blood while he was recovering. He wouldn't be surprised if they did. Whenever he go remotely wounded, Serafal would always offer him some of her blood to heal. Like she was afraid, but of what she was afraid of he had no clue. Let it be known, Naruto is still somewhat clueless to a woman's feelings. Had he had a couple of lustful encounters? Well, yes, though he mostly surrendered to his desires around his lovers Chome, Matatabi, Koko, and Saiken. And sometimes he didn't surrender to his desires, which was quite common as Naruto only had eyes for his lovers. But to be fair, he will admit a woman is stunningly beautiful and even downright sexy. But he won't have any desire to bed them. He wasn't that type of guy. Aji-sama. The little voice of Milikass called out to him. Naruto smiled softly and in a hoarsely voice responded. Come in, Milikass-kun. Naruto coughed a bit after it. Ugh, I feel like shit, Naruto thought as he suppressed all his power he could so it wouldn't affect the boy. Milikass opened the door and gasped at the true form of his mentor. Aji-sama, your hair and eyes. The boy exclaimed in awe. He never seen Naruto take his true form, and there was no records of images of Naruto in his true form from his knowledge. Ah yes, it seems my changes have triggered my true form, so to speak, Naruto said with a dried chuckle. His crimson red eyes with black slits held a warmth and kindness to them. At least for Milikass, that is what he felt. If it was anyone else, they would mostly feel they are within the presence of an apex predator that would devour them or something. This is your true form? Milikass asked nervously. Naruto smiled kindly as he took the blood pack Milikass had and sank his fangs into the bag. Sucking on the bag, Naruto drained the blood bag of its contents before he sighed in relief. Much better, Naruto thought, felt his symptoms recede slightly. He could feel some of his strength coming back to him, but not all of it. It must be because of my human blood is fading. Now I am getting abnormally weak cause I have not fed of blood for a long time. Though my Uzumaki genes are fusing with my genes from my father. It also means I have no human blood to sustain my vampire blood. Thus I am in a state of hunger, Naruto thought, making up some kind of theory. But it wasn't a good one, so he went with the idea now he is becoming a full vampire, a transcendent vampire at that. He will need blood either every now and then or something. He wasn't too sure as no records or knowledge excited for a transcendent vampire until him. Some of it is mostly guesswork and what other beings have transcended to the point of godhood. Yes, Milikass-kun, this is my true form, you can say. I guess you're special. You're the first person to ever see this form. Not even the other Dampiers have seen this form of me, Naruto said with a kind smile. Milikass smiled and lightly touched his fangs while looking over Naruto, taking every aspect of his mentor's true form. Milikass, while the ever-curious and adventurous child, he was simply in awe of his mentor/uncle's true form. Milikass just giggled as he touched Naruto's silky silver hair. Well, at least I wasn't killed and it triggered the ascension to this state. But I wonder what will happen to me now, Naruto thought as he patted Milikass's head. Come on, Milikass-kun. We have a lot of work to do, gather up your things. We are going somewhere special, Naruto told his student, whom speed off while cheering. Chuckling, Naruto moved to his gear. Naruto got dressed rather in a sluggish fashion as he was still sore. Note, my body feels like someone put me on fire while dipping me in acid, Naruto thought as he shrugged off the pain best he could. While he would love to stay home and relax till his transformation is over, if he stayed home too long, Naruto might be hearing from Serzac or Serzac soon. So in order to avoid the two Mao, Naruto needed a place where he can finish his ascension in peace without anyone bothering him or trying to kill him while the process was being complete. And only one place was a great place for him to train undisturbed. After getting dressed in his Witcher armor and collecting all his gear, Naruto met Milikass in his living room. Making two reinforced shadow clones, Naruto smiled. The two disappeared in distortion of time and space. Dracul's castle. I am home, Oto-san, Naruto smiles as he looked around the empty castle, which was beautifully designed. He secretly had this castle rebuilt after he had purged that foul essence from his father's castle. While it was somewhat his father's personification of his dark side, the curse of the vampire, and the power of his vampiric blood, it is also the sentience of the castle. Think of the castle from Castlevania, Lords of Shadow 2, but due to his father's death, and the fact it needed his father to remain alive, Naruto easily purged it from the castle and all formed of evil entities inside, leaving it safe to travel to the innermost chambers of the castle. Naruto wouldn't raise his family here if he didn't purge the place. While he loved his father, he had to deal with the threat and burden of cleaning up after his father. Whoa, where are we? Milikass said as he looked at the room. There was a bit dark and the stars shined outside, suggesting it's night time. However, Milikass noted everything from the floor to the walls were designed for royalty in mind. We are in Dracul's castle, the very castle I inherited from my father. Though it took a long time to repair whatever damage was done and purge the evil dark entities that lurked within this place, Naruto said, tapping his chin. This place is dusty, Naruto thought with a sweat drop. Well, he did purge it over 100 years ago, which took him 5 years to completely purge the place and repair the damage. So it wasn't safe before Milikass asked. No, anyone but my father were twisted and corrupted by this being whom called himself Inner Dracula. However, it could not live without my father being here. And with my father gone, the dark spirits and other forces that fed off my father's power were slowly starved, as they needed him alive to keep on existing. They were mere concepts born of my father's actions, Naruto said, feeling the purity and clean feeling the castle has now. Can we go see the throne room? Milikass asked with a sparkle in his eye. Naruto blinked before he chuckled. Sure, follow me.